stranger?
Stress. Been looking for work.
What you looking for?
2 ounces of hard white.
Bitch.
People are always asking me, Kiki, the books that you write, is that about you? Is that about your life? I used to rob drug dealers. I used to traffic drugs. I was a savage. I used to get it, and I didn't care who I got it from.
I've been looking for you for 2 weeks. Where is my money?
And now I can sit here and show you guys a glimpse of my life before I turned it around.
I'm gonna ask you one more time, Kiki. Think harder, right? Where's my goddamn money at?
Mrs. Santana, you look stunning. What are you wearing? And tell us about this new venture in the fashion industry.
I'm wearing a piece from my own line. It's called Kais, designed by my brilliant partner and friend, Karen Blackwell.
Wow. Look at Adriana Santana. She's hot. I don't see Lewis anywhere, though. I noticed Sheldon Chisholm and his family are here. Not to mention the other half-dozen criminals in here.
Oh, no, you don't. We're here to have fun.
But why are you here alone? Where's your recently acquitted husband, Lewis?
Lewis is back home resting. He has his share of bright lights and cameras. We just want to leave that whole thing behind us.
No work today. We've been here for 5 minutes and you're already profiling people? Come on now.
And what else are you looking to see tonight?
All of my friends and to show off her brilliant work. Everything that you're about to see.
We can't wait for it.
The only reason I invited you is because you're my best friend and we never get to spend time together. Plus, you're killing it in that dress. Here comes Jess. I wanted to introduce you to.
When you done?
Roger that.
Then why do you have it?
She told me to keep it!
I'll be out in a minute. Stop with the lies!
He's a very flashy Haitian with a penchant for violence. There's no one to play with, Haitian.
Where's my goddamn money at?
Sakura is dead.
Play with me again. I'm tired of hearing you talk all the time. Save it. Save it.
She's my friend. She's my friend.
But I will not give up. I will not give in. And I will not get caught. Time to go hunting.
And the winner is Wes Clark. Congratulations.
Yes, she's my mother.
Rock stars. There is nothing like those wild, rebellious party animals. Entry number 60.
When I decided to pursue acting, I never thought it was this difficult after weeks of being homeless, jobless, sleeping on my friends' couches. I'm finally here!
Just take care
What are you
of
doing?
yourself.
Shh.
What's going on?
Tribe, they're
Terry.
coming.
Where have you been? I've been calling you on your cell phone all day.
At work.
Faith wake up dope sick, fiending for a sniff. Left the house, ain't tell her husband she was gone, she just dipped.
Why is it that you are taking large sums of money out of our account every single day?
While her family's at home, she's out there chasing that high. Roaming up and down the block, she run into this pimp guy. He's conversating with her, asked her if she tryna make cash. Next thing you know, she's in front of the pink house selling the ass. Then she gets dope sick again. She need that boy, so she out there searching again. She's tired of her life. For years she done wrong. Now she wanna do right. She go to rehab to get the help she need, and she tell her family.
I'm Yoshi Lomax, superstar attorney at law and fugitive.
So, you're the famous Yoshi Lomax.
Probably more infamous. I'm on the run from the federal government for crimes that I didn't commit.
Gentlemen, I'm Deputy U.S. Marshal Sharon Starr. I'll be taking things from here.
Not to mention being on the hit list of at least 3 of Miami's major crime bosses.
I wanted to apologize in person for leaving so abruptly last night.
Welcome back.
That's Vladimir Kuzetsov, a Russian crime boss. He's been a suspect in over a dozen missing person cases.
I mean, I didn't get here to be this successful for doing things the American way.
I need a list of the jury for my case with Hanchu.
Oh, really? What's that worth to you? Oh my God, you're such a...
Mr. Santana is to be released upon processing.
So what do you know about Sheldon Chisholm?
What do you want to know about him?
I really need to know if you're going to take my case. I don't have time to play, Miss Lomax.
Money is not a problem. You know anything about his case?
It's being handled by agents in my field office.
I've learned that in this game of life, in order to win,
Ready to dance?
you gotta play dirty. You might look at me and see a beautiful, confident, successful woman.
Congratulations, counselor. Yet another win.
But underneath, I'm flawed. I'm broken. And I'm scared. So I have no choice but to run until I can find a way to clear my name.
Miss Lomax is now considered a fugitive of the United States. Catching fugitives is my business, which makes her my suspect. You and your associates are relieved.
Look. She killed one of our own.
But I will not give up.
All right, people, listen up. Get a picture of Miss Lomax out there so the public knows what she looks like.
I will not give in.
Okay. People, we got a game plan. Let's break and execute.
I will not get caught.
Time to go hunt.
Chastity, Maria, Sydney, Mackenzie, and Lucy.
Well, hello, ladies. I'm Bella. I have a question for everyone. Why do you think rich men cheat?
Control, attention, power.
Here, you will learn how to gain ownership of all. Are you ready to take that step?
Y'all, this is Rayon Lawrence, and you're watching Real Talk with the Director.
Hey everyone, it's your girl Catherine Nunez, and you're watching Real Talk with the Director and the Council on the IE Network.
Real Talk.
Hey, I'm Gina Lou, and you're listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
Hey, what's up? It's Logan Browning, and you're listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
Real Talk.
Hi, this is Alana De La Garza, and you're listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
Hi, I'm Diane Franklin from Better Off Dead and Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures. You're listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
Hi, this is Monique Dupree, and you are watching Real Talk with the Director on Blog Talk Radio.
Hey, I'm Stormy Maya, and you are listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
It's Vicky Judy, Orange is the New Black, and I'm here with Real Talk.
Yo, what up? This is Jay Ellis, and you're watching Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio. Keep it locked.
Hi, I'm Rita Park. You're listening to Real Talk Radio with the Director. Hey, I'm Issa Rae, and you're watching Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
All I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
Nothing more, nothing less. And we're back. Welcome to another edition of Real Talk with the Director and the Jedi Council. I am the Director. We'll be with you for the next 120 minutes or so, give or take. Real Talk brought to you each and every Monday by B2S Media. B2S Media, Born to Shine Entertainment. And we broadcast live via the World Wide Web on youtube.com/IE Network TV and Facebook, the social network, and IG, Instagram. What's going on, people? Today is the 20th of May. May is just flying past. And we're back. We have been out for the last couple of weeks on some family business, little personal, but everything is back to normal. And yeah, man, we're back. So thank you for joining us, and thank you for sticking around. Shout out to the chat room. What's going on? I don't see what's going on in the chat room right now. Show. There we go. No. Where are you guys? Okay, cool. Shout out to the chat room. Anybody and everybody that came through, is coming through. Appreciate you. Let's see. Where else are we? Yep. So today, we going over what we go. X-Men Mania. The X-Men 97 show has been it's finished now. It's the first season is done. And we're going to talk a little bit about what we thought of it, give my rating of it all. Yeah, it was an interesting, very good experience. One of the best experiences probably in a while for Marvel. So we'll talk about that. Also, the Cannes Film Festival is going on as we speak. It's going on now over there in Cannes, France. And there's a lot of talk about some films. We have the Megalopolis, of course. That's the Francis Ford Coppola mega passion project that he's been planning and to shoot for 20 years. I don't think that's screened yet, but a couple of films that have screened are there's a film called what is it called? It's the new Demi Moore film called The Substance. Hearing that is a horror film. I don't know if it's a horror slash thriller with Demi Moore, and I'm hearing that it's a lot of people are saying it's pretty good. They're saying that it's really good. it wound up with a I think they said a 9-minute standing ovation. Not bad. As speaking of standing ovations, also getting an 8-minute standing ovation is the film The Apprentice, which is I want to call it an unauthorized biopic of Donald Trump. Yeah, I'm calling it unauthorized biopic because I don't think Trump would have co-signed this film based on some of the headlines that I'm reading. So that film actually ended up getting a standing ovation for 8 minutes. So and also, I mean, there's some real it basically talks about Trump when he was younger, on the rise as a real estate mogul or a budding real estate mogul. But it also talks about a lot of him and his relationship with the controversial lawyer Cohen. What is his first name? Is it let's see, what's the guy's first name? Roy Cohen, yeah. Controversial Roy Cohen. So, and there's some heavy stuff going on in this film from what we're reading. One of the headlines, I think Variety or one of them said, literally said, the film depicts, yo, what up? Paul Jr. in the building. What up, dude? Appreciate you popping in on us. Yeah, so this film depicts Donald Trump. There's a scene in there where he actually, this is the scene they're all talking about, where he allegedly rapes his then would-be wife, Ivana, on one of their, I guess, a date or something that they was on. But he forcibly, allegedly, at least according to the film, he forces himself on her and basically rapes her. There's also a scene in there depicting Trump going to like a surgery room, getting liposuction surgery, amongst, I'm sure, other things that they might be talking about. So this film, I don't think Donald Trump will be promoting this film. However, it was written by, it's called The Apprentice. It was written by Gabriel Sherman, who I don't really know much of his work. But he's the only person listed as the writer, but I'm not sure. I'm still looking into it and seeing where did he get, this from. So it says here, matter of fact, here is a quote. Trump campaign threatens legal action over Sebastian Stan, who actually played Donald Trump, over Sebastian Stan's The Apprentice movie. Quote, this garbage is pure fiction. Brutal Donald Trump. Another one says brutal Donald Trump biopic. The Apprentice gets 8-minute Cannes standing ovation. And as the director said, it's time to make films political again. So yeah, so obviously the Trump campaign and Trump camp has already come out against the film, and they're threatening legal action, which most people says here. So we'll get into that a little more. Also, Deadpool and Wolverine film is now on sale. Go out and get your tickets. Anybody who's excited about Deadpool and Wolverine, go out and get your tickets. It is on sale now. And of course, what everybody is talking about. I put a poll up. No Diddy. Pause. I put up a poll that says, should Diddy be forgiven or something like that? It says, should we forgive Diddy? That's pretty much what the poll is. So take it as you come into the pause. Don't take the poll. Pause as you come into the or is it appropriate to say no Diddy when he comes in to the chat room? I actually don't subscribe to the no Diddy thing. I think it's funny, but I don't just subscribe to it because no Diddy basically replaces no homo, right? So I mean, I'm gonna keep it real. People can get mad when they say, "Oh, you know, YouTube." Hopefully, y'all don't ban me for saying this, but it is what it is. So the term "no homo" as opposed to pause, right? Just so y'all could get it right, because I'm tired of people using it in the wrong context. Okay, no homo is reserved, or now in this case, no Diddy should be reserved for in case if you're a dude, right, and you compliment another dude, right? Yo, you looking fresh, my dude. Yo, bro, I like that, man. You look smooth. No Diddy. You see what I'm saying? That's where you reserve it. Pause is when something it's like more of a sexual innuendo type of deal. That's where you use pause. So if it's like I just said, come into the chat room, take the poll, pause, right? That's just pause is reserved for stuff that's more innuendo or stuff that comes out that sounds like some sort of a gay sexual innuendo. That's what pause is. Okay. So y'all got to get pause straight in the difference between that and no Diddy or no homo. Like I said, no Diddy replaced no homo. I guess no homo is kind of like more offensive to homosexuals. But I mean, okay. So now people are using no Diddy as the, they're using that as the new reference to replace that. But anyway, we will talk about the apology, the infamous apology video, which was an apology to the infamous video of him. Not even allegedly. This is a video of Diddy abusing. Now, no, and for all you scoopers and podcasters, everyone out there, you no longer have to say alleged because he admitted it now in his apology video. So now the embargo is lifted off of saying alleged. Now we can literally say, even though we knew it already, but we can literally say, yeah, the video where he was abusing Cassie. So there was the video for that. So that's what we'll get into real quick. We'll run down the weekend recap and then we'll bring in our Jedi Council. Weekend recap for the weekend of May 17th through the 19th. Number 5, Challengers made $2.9 million over the weekend. It opened on April 26th. That is the Zendaya-led film. And it has made $78 million worldwide. So it hasn't, it's made money, but at the same time, I don't know. I'm not sure what the budget was for it. But yeah. So that's that. That's number 5. And 1 second. I call people all day and then they don't call me till I'm on the air. Hey guys, I'm on the air. Why don't you jump on and check me out if you want to talk to me? Okay, number 4 is The Fall Guy made $8.4 million over the weekend. Okay, so it's now at $127 million. Came out May 3rd. The Fall Guy. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about that after we get online. I did see The Fall Guy, and I actually enjoyed it. And I'll tell you why. I enjoyed it. All right, number 3 is The Strangers, Chapter 1. That is the prequel to the infamous film The Strangers, which that film was terrifying. I'm sorry. That was a terrifying film when I first saw it. Nice and original, but terrifying. The Strangers came out May 17th. Only domestically, it has made $11 million. Number 2 is Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. That is now at $237 million worldwide. It made another $25 million over the weekend. And number 1 at $55 million over the weekend. I'm sorry, $33 million. I'm saying $55 million over the weekend is If. Imaginary Friends. If. Starring Ryan Reynolds is, I think, the star of that. Right now it's at $57 million worldwide. It made $33 million. It just opened on May 17th. So it just opened over the weekend. So nice opening weekend, $33 million. If. And that is your weekend recap for the weekend of May 17th through the 19th. Brought to you by BoxOfficeMojo.com. Joseph Tanner, what's going on, brother? I was beginning to think you wasn't showing up. What's going on? You're watching Real Talk with the director and the Jedi Council. I'm the director. I got counsel with me. One's here, one's on the way. Ralph, you in the building? I thought you was gonna be late, brother.
I am late. I kind of pushed the needle a little bit to get here, but
I appreciate you for that, man. And my apologies for not being a little more, on point with that. Yeah, man. So going back to have you saw any movies lately? Did you get a chance to see The Fall Guy?
I have not seen The Fall Guy. I went to go see the Amy Winehouse movie on Friday.
Okay.
And I will say, I really liked it. The young lady that played Amy Winehouse, I wasn't really feeling her until she had the beehive, but I thought that her performance was good.
And we talking about the beehive haircut, not Beyonce's fans. Not Beyonce's fans, fan base.
No, the beehive hair.
Or fandom.
But what I will say about the movie, and I've been saying this to people this entire week, and I say, Amy Winehouse is a very tragic case.
Right.
That woman had talent pouring out of her eyeballs. It wasn't even funny. And she got into, she was already, in our case, because this is a real source, so this ain't like a spoiler, she was already drinking. But it wasn't until there's this dude, this Blake guy, that drinking became worse, because he was kind of like, I'm halfway in, halfway out.
Somebody.
And the truth of the matter is that if you go back and now and you listen to the 2 Amy Winehouse albums, that dude Frank is all over him. I mean, she calls the first album is called Blake. Blake. Yeah. He's all over it when the references that she says in her songs, and she basically, her whole life was consumed about this guy that in the end didn't want her, and that's why she took her life. So to me, it is a very cautionary tale for people like it's okay to love someone, but don't let that take over your life where that's all you want to do, because that was her downfall, because all he did was the demons that she had, he just encouraged it and probably brought more of them than she ever had or thought she would have. More alcohol, drugs, all come from him. But as far as the movie, I was very happy. One thing that I saw that I thought was a little different than some biopics than usual is that usually at the end of the movie, they actually put the actual person back into the film. Right, like if you saw Bohemian Rhapsody, when the whole movie was over, when they had the song playing at the end, it was actually Freddie Mercury. They showed you Freddie Mercury what he really looked like. They did not do that. They did. I mean, the same thing with Ray Charles. You know, they did Tina Turner. They did not do that with this one, which I thought was a little bit different because then you could have seen how close she did or did not come to actually looking like Amy Winehouse. We know she wasn't doing the singing. That's really Amy Winehouse herself.
Yeah, that's singing.
Right?
Yeah.
They just wasn't. But on a strict basis, I really liked it. It's extremely sad. It's extremely sad because you know the outcome of it, and to actually if what is portrayed in the movie is actually how her life went downhill, and nobody really could step in there and stop it. It is just a tragedy.
No. Yeah, it's tragic. That's tragic right there. Well, I do want to check that out. I definitely want to check that one out. I did see. Oh, there's Kevin, the green one. Let's see if we can get Kevin. Kev, thank you for joining us, sir. I did see The Fall Guy. I was gonna go see. I gotta get back to see Planet of the Apes. I was gonna go see Planet of the Apes, but it was just like.
I'll see that on Monday.
Know. Yeah, I'm gonna see that. Yeah.
Now this weekend is all about Furiosa. I am so amped to see that. I think that is going to be awesome.
I'm gonna go see Planet of the Apes and a couple other films, but I did see The Fall Guy, and I'll say I definitely enjoyed it, and I thought it was done pretty good. It's not the exact same premise as the show, but what I like about it is. Number one, it is by and for stunt people. Meaning the director is a stunt guy. He's a stunt coordinator and he directed the film. Right? Obviously it's they you know how movies have, and sometimes the big stars come on and talk before the movie comes on. And it was the director along with what's the guy's name? Ken. What's his name? The guy,
Ken.
you know, the guy who plays Ken.
Ryan
Ken
Gosling. I think
Ryan Gosling.
He's gonna call him Ken forever. And shout out
to
Ryan
I'm just throwing that in there because that's I mean, yeah, he did his thing or whatever, but he was so him and Gosling and the director, which the director's name is David Leitch. He is they were talking about it, and they literally just said this film is a love letter to stunt players, to stunt people, stunt performers. Let's just call them what they are. Which it really is. It's one of those films when you watch it, you're like, yeah. Okay, and I'm sure I'm be willing. Remember, we actually we got to get David back on because David Chin back on because I did tell him or I did ask him when we do The Fall Guy, we'd like him to come back on. I want to talk to him. I want to talk to our stunt performers, the people that we've had on before, David and maybe Jamie. And the young lady, what's the young lady's name we had on? I'm so bad with names right now.
Oh, yes, I know. She might be able to come on. She just had a baby.
Yeah, no, I saw online that she did, but I mean, you know, I'd like to see what their opinion is on the film. It's one of those films. It looked like they did a lot of, you know, obviously they did a lot of stunts. They did a lot of and I like that the end that they showed all of the different stunts and how they were done. Like, and you know, with the credits rolling, they kind of showed how all of the stunts in there. So obviously the movie stars Ryan Gosling, Emily Blunt, and Aaron Taylor Johnson, who was funny as hell in this film. And Winston Duke also funny in the film, but you know, good roles. Winston Duke plays guy Dan Tucker, who is he is the stunt coordinator on the film that Colt Seavers working on. So basically, the premise of this is Colt Seaver is obviously Ryan Gosling is, he's doing stunts. He's a stunt man specifically on a film for Aaron Taylor Johnson's character Tom Ryder, who's like the star. And basically he does a stunt that goes wrong, and it injures him and pretty much puts him out of business for a while. Puts him out of the game for a while. He breaks his back. It puts him out of the game for a while. But then he's called back, sometime later, some years later, because Emily Blunt's character plays. Well, she was like a camera operator, or like an assistant camera operator, or something like that, when they first had their little relationship and knew each other. After he injured himself, he went dark. No one knew anything of what was going on with him. He basically disappeared out of her life, and he's called back. Now she's a director. She's directing this big film, and it's like her what's that called? It's not really her comeback. It's like her first really big blockbuster film. And she was named, and it's starring this guy, Tom Ryder, who is Aaron Taylor Johnson's character. But, and Winston Duke he plays the stunt coordinator for the film. So anyway, blah, 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 blah. So like I said, so he's not a bounty hunter, but he gets called by the girl who's playing the producer. Gail Mayer is the name of the producer. And she calls him back to hire him on the film. But before, not even just to hire him on the film, she lies to him and says, Emily Blunt's character really wants you on this film. But she really didn't, because she was mad at him because he ghosted her for years. But she told him that Aaron Taylor Johnson's character, Tom Ryder, is missing. And she didn't know who else to go to. She can't go to the cops. She needs him to help her find this guy so they can finish this film. And she uses Emily Blunt's character as the trigger to make him do it. Because at first he was like, hell no. Go F off, And she's like, yo, this is really a big deal for Jodie's character, for Jodie's film career. If you could help her, and then that's what triggers him to help. So he's doing little investigation and stuff. So this may be the start of him becoming like a bounty hunter / investigator, if they decide to continue on with the franchise. But he's not a bounty hunter or anything like that as of yet. So, but it was cool. It was cool, man. It has some great stunts, obviously. Some cool, funny moments. It felt like the Fall Guy feel. And as you know, I'm really big on this. We got a cameo from the man himself. So we got a cameo from Lee Majors in the film. It's near the end, but he's there. It's a good cameo too. Good cameo. And Heather Thomas, Lee Majors. I don't know if the other guy, what's his name? What was his name? Douglas Barr, Howie Munson. Yeah, I don't know if he got.
Is he still alive?
I don't know. I have to see. I'm trying to see right now. Douglas Barr, who played Howie Munson.
Oh yeah, he's still alive.
He is still alive. He might have been in there too. But nah, I don't see him listed here. So he wasn't it. But Lee Majors and Heather Thomas did get cameos in the film. So very cool there. You know, I'm big on that. I always love that. I love people when they do whatever remakes or whatever you want to call them. They pay homage to the original in some way, shape, or form. And as long as you really pay homage to it, I won't be so disappointed if there's not a cameo from someone from the original. Long as you find a way to pay some sort of homage to the original. That's just me, my preference as a filmmaker. I would never remake a film and not pay homage to the original somehow. So I was satisfied. I was satisfied with it. Definitely. Someone said, oh, so the poll that we started says, should we forgive Diddy? He's asking for forgiveness. Someone here says, I hope and pray Diddy will come back from this. Okay.
Wait, what? He didn't ask for forgiveness. He said, I'm not asking. He said, I'm not asking for forgiveness. He didn't ask for forgiveness.
And he's not really sorry. He's not sorry at all.
Okay, so he apologized. Then,
did he?
Well,
yeah,
he did
said,
in
sorry,
the video. No, he didn't. Exactly. He only thing he apologized.
No, he didn't apologize to Cassie. He just said he apologizes.
Then if you're not giving an apology to Cassie, then what's the point? Then what's the point? You only apologizing because the footage got released. You're not sorry.
Well, I mean, you know, it is what it is. I'm just saying he did officially apologize. He didn't apologize to Cassie. Well, we don't know what he apologized to. He didn't publicly apologize to Cassie.
Then guess what? Guess what? In this case, you should have publicly apologized to her. Don't sit there with make a video say no. I was effed up. I was going through some things.
I was in the dark.
I was in a dark time. Or, like, bro, I don't want to hear that crap. You did not apologize to Cassie herself.
Rehab.
Right, because that's who you did this to. You didn't do it to the American public. So stop with the bull. You're not sorry.
Yeah.
You're only sorry that the video after all these years came out and we can actually see all the alleged stuff that you were allegedly guilty of. Guess what? It ain't allegedly no more.
Well, this is the funny thing. You know, this video coming out is going to, whether it's true or not, it's going to validate everything else that she accused him of in that lawsuit, because she literally described this video in her lawsuit of what he did to her. And the fact that this had to be the video probably that they obtained when they raided his houses. And this was obviously a strategic move by the feds to try to see if maybe they can. It's two wins for them. The first win is it's a Hail Mary. They don't know if it'll be a win, but down the line it could spark other things. It's going to bring the question. It's going to bring other people out the woodworks, whether real or fake. But the real win for them is if something is ever, if they find something that they can charge him with, and he has to go to a trial, any potential jurors are tainted by this video. Anyone, whoever sees this video can't unsee it. You see what I'm saying? So it's going to be very hard to find a jury. You know, if you're the defense, you got to be worried that it's going to be very hard to find a jury that could give a non-biased, fair verdict to your client, because it's not like there's already been a jury and then this thing gets released. People are going to see it. Any potential person that has already seen this video could be picked to be a juror if it gets that far. So what they did was, it's their way of playing the long game. They do. And I'm gonna be honest with this. My brother, shout out to Heaven Hollywood, he mentioned this on one of his videos, and I agree with him. he's like, he doesn't fully blame him, but he said Puffy's son, King Combs, who released a diss track for whatever reason, you know, towards 50 Cent and other people. He had a line in there where he's basically saying nah to the feds. He said the feds raided the house. Then he said something about they don't know that we bought the house next door. That's the house that they missed. I'm paraphrasing, but that's what he's saying. He basically saying, "Oh, y'all didn't find nothing, and we secretly bought the house next door. Then you know the house next to it, and that's you missed that one." So my brother was saying, "It's stupid, right? Right. The stupid thing is, my brother was like, and I agree with him. First of all, this Kendrick Lamar stuff kind of distracted people. Kendrick and Drake kind of distracted people from Puffy a little bit. And Puffy thing was dying down a little bit, just a little bit. You bring attention right back to your family by dropping this diss track or whatever it is. 50 Cent just laughed at him like, yeah, okay. And then not only that, you playing in the Fed's face. What's wrong with you right now? Even if that's not true, that could have just been a made up bar, right? He could have made that up. Even if it's not true, why are you playing in their faces like this? I believe, just as my brother said, the feds was like, okay, we got something for you. We obtained this tape, which a whole nother story. I'm gonna get into it. And we're going to release it. They released it to CNN. They didn't go with no social media. They put it up. They gave it, whoever gave it to CNN. Now, allegedly, Cassie said in her lawsuit that he paid 30 bands to the hotel for the tapes. Now, here's my question.
He paid 50.
Here's my question. Why the hell do you still have them? Why do they still exist? I mean, let me tell you something.
Why do they still exist?
I can.
Here's why they still exist.
No. Wait. Let me finish. Let me tell you something. This is narcissism at its best. If I'm paying 30, 50, whatever bands to get a surveillance tape from a hotel, that thing would be up in flames before I hit my car. It would not exist anymore. So this would never have happened because it wouldn't exist. The hotel that it happened at doesn't even exist anymore. It went out.
Yes, it does. No, it isn't. It isn't. I know exactly what hotel it is.
Unless they changed or something like that, but
nope.
Where I was reading reports that hotel is not that particular one that they was in is not in existence anymore, or that maybe it was that chain. But
I might go with the chain, but the hotel itself is still sitting there.
That particular location. What'd you say?
I said it may not be the same chain, but the hotel itself is still sitting there. There's a very good reason why they have that footage, but I have to tell you that off air. I can't. Because it turns out that I actually know somebody that was there that day that works in that hotel, and he gave me all the information I need. I was like, oh.
Okay. Right. So, but regardless of the fact, if I'm paying money to get that thing, I'm destroying it. Period.
It doesn't matter whether
you
destroy
be in existence
it or not. There was already the one thing that Diddy didn't realize, and is stupid enough to believe, that they made a copy. There was a copy. That digital is forever. Do you honestly believe that hotel, that something like that is going to happen in that hotel, and the hotel is not going to cover themselves from liability by not having that footage. Well, now that
but how are they really covering themselves from liability if they sold it to him? If they sold it to him,
well,
that's not really covering yourself.
But see, that's not the hotel. And like Ralph said, he'll tell us off air. But my assumption is that it wasn't the hotel, quote unquote. It was somebody in security that was like, "Yo, here you go." On a down low, somebody in security got 50 bands to give him that footage, and they gave him the footage. But the hotel has all hotels, when it comes to that stuff, have backup servers. And if you're not thorough enough to erase it from every possible backup there is, which is backup on backup on backups, because hotels have to protect themselves from liability of other things, the case may be, employee theft, whatever. There's backups upon backups of stuff. And so, in my opinion, the reason why Puffy got to take the disc that he got was because somebody from security gave it to him, and he paid them $50,000. And they quote unquote air quotes assured him that it was deleted. Haha. Jokes on you.
Well, but why would this come out now? Why didn't that come? If somebody just held on to that footage, why would they put it out now of all time? Not even when Cassie dropped her lawsuit.
Because somebody knew what it was. They probably rolled up on Puffy. It was like, "Yo, I got this footage of you, blah 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 blah." And again, I'm speculating, and either you give me XYZ money or I'm putting it out. And Puffy is probably like, "Fuck it, put it out. I don't care. I paid the money. I'll issue an apology, and I'm gonna keep it pushing."
Right. Yeah, I'm issue an apology and keep pushing. Well, that's what he did.
Buy my record.
Huge pause.
Buy my records. Buy my records.
Buy my records.
Take that.
Take that.
Yeah.
I got another Bad Boys Greatest Hits about to come out next month. So
yeah. I know. Someone said Diddy can't say her name and Cassie can't say his name or write a book about it because Diddy NDA.
Yeah. And I said that to myself earlier when I was watching Roland. Yeah, he probably can't publicly say her name because of the whatever their whatever the final court decision was on their in the case once he settled. That was probably the term.
Well, it was that was a part of the NDA. Yeah, because I mean, it never really went to court. He settled. It never went to court.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
She filed it,
but when
he settled outside of court.
There's still documents.
Yeah.
And that was the one thing, because these women on Roland Martin was bashing him like, "Oh, well, he didn't even say Cassie's name." And I said to myself, well, he probably can't because of the lawsuit, and because he looked like he was struggling when he was talking. Because I'm pretty sure he would have loved to have been like, "Cassie, I apologize publicly, but now it's too late because you should have did that before the lawsuit." And she probably wouldn't even. She probably would have took that and walked. And
she would have. Really I mean, honestly, if he would have paid her when she first asked for it, none of that stuff probably would have ever came out. Honestly,
if he would have did that, and if he would have apologized publicly, like, "Yo, I did this to you, and I apologize."
Yeah, exactly. My brother said the same thing, and I agree with him. Once this lawsuit happened and he settled, he should have made an apology video right then and there, and he should have got ahead of it and apologized publicly to her and tell people, "This is why I settled, because of what she had to endure while we was together. I put her through a lot, and it's the least I could do." That's why I settled.
But he
I'm sorry. I'm getting therapy. Blah 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 blah. And then when this video would have came out, it still would have been brutal. It still would have been effed up, but he already would have apologized for it because it's like, oh,
but the other thing he
once
would have had
again,
to have
it's
done
bad.
is his lawyers. Yeah, but the other thing his lawyers would have had to have done is they would have had to have put that everything that you just said, that would have had to been a part of the NDA. That he can only, the only mention of her name can be a public apology.
Yeah,
which
it's
I'm
an
surprised
apologize. Yeah,
they didn't make that a part of the NDA. I'm really surprised that they didn't make that a part of it, because generally when you get that kind of settlement, I listen. If I was her, I'd have been like, listen, Negro, you apologize, and I don't care. Listen, even if I just get 10
well, she don't care when you getting that kind of money. She don't care getting that kind of money. Please, she's like, all right, give me my bread. I'm out.
That's all she wanted anyway.
And what did she do? She disappeared. Yeah, to be honest, she disappeared for a while, and then the next time you saw her, she popped up with her boyfriend with matching mink coats on somewhere in France or something, or Italy. Well, I'm just saying that's what happened. She popped up with him. And they have matching things. Everybody in the comments was like, check cleared. Everybody in the comments was like, that check done cleared. Cassie popping up with the mink coat. Now you looking like money again. You looking like money again.
Hey Wes,
you got to remember.
Wes, you know what they, you know what they did. They did what we do. They didn't go to their bank. They went right to his bank.
Yep,
right away.
Right to his bank. Look, cash this check right now. Clear this money right now. Yep.
I've been like ODB. I've been like, remember ODB that time when he got his food stamps, dressed in the mink with him and his wife.
Yep. I'm telling you, bro. I'd have been like, yeah. Yeah. I need this. You can call whoever you need to call right now. I'd have been like my man on Ransom. I'd have been like, call the bank right now. We going to the bank right now. You go clear this check. But that's I mean, I still, regardless of the fact, now this video obviously proves, which, I mean, let's be honest, did any of us really think that he didn't lay any hands on her? This just gives you the real rude, not rude, but the raw, it's raw now, and it's real. But most people,
I'm gonna be honest with you.
I
thought he was just verbally abusive. I really didn't
nah.
think he put his hands on.
First of all, we've heard
way
a lot
too many
of things.
stories.
Too many stories about him laying hands on Kim Porter. You know what I mean? And that's just, let's be honest, man. There's a lot of people, not everybody, obviously. You can't put everybody in a box, but there's a lot of people when you're that powerful, you're that rich, there's a lot of them like that anyway. They get to that, and Diddy is a person, let's be honest. He's always been a person that's been, when it came to the women in his life, he said this on many occasions. The women in his life have to endure a certain amount of things. That's 25%. 75% of him they get. The other 25%, they got to deal with effery, like other women, or, I guess in this case, probably, his whatever he snaps out and whatever. Remember, she said in the lawsuit, she said in the suit that he would do that when he'd get drunk and high and stuff like that. And it didn't surprise me at all. So when those things that she said, I'm like, I wouldn't be surprised if he did that stuff. I said, but I still stand on what I said from the beginning. Obviously, for whatever reason, maybe she just has a soft spot for him, but Cassie was never seeking justice. Cassie was seeking money. So she got she that was it. She was seeking money.
Look, I said the other night. You know, they're already looking like, well, we need to start looking into this whole thing with Kim Porter. If you don't think that somebody pretty soon is going to start talking to Jennifer Lopez, or the girl who he had the contract with, that she said he pays me like $75,000, he could pee on me. You don't think they're gonna start looking at them and say, listen, we need to have, yeah, it's go. And I said this today. Yeah, they are. I said this today. I said one thing they're gonna look at, if they start opening up Kim Porter, don't be too surprised if they start looking up other stuff like,
well, I mean,
Death of Biggie, and the Beth of Tupac. Don't be surprised.
They might, but the thing is, that stuff's gonna come up anyway because it's already come up. That people, literally, Keefe D said a long time ago that Puffy contracted him and his team to kill Tupac. He said that a long time ago. He said he put $1 million out on Tupac and Suge Knight's head, 500 apiece, allegedly. This is what the guy had said. It was depicted in all his little testimonies, and even in the movie that they did like that. It was like one of those specials, like one of those what are they called again? Like the American
Exposes?
Crime. Yeah, like those American Crime Story specials. It was like a 3 or 4 part mini series, just like they did like the People versus OJ. Like they did it for this, for the Tupac and Biggie, the death of Tupac, or the death of Tupac and Biggie. Yeah, because it talked about that one dude who was the first investigator. Then it talked about Greg Caden, who was the second federal guy who took over the case. So it went into all of that stuff. And Keefe D has the one, and just recently Keefe D, it was, going around talking, saying the same stuff, saying, yeah, he's, according to them and his story, his nephew, Orlando Anderson, who is now deceased, is the one who pulled the trigger on killing Tupac, shooting Tupac. And dead man tell no tales, so we don't know if he did or not. But it kind of strange that he ended up dead. Maybe he did, But
that dude Orlando was going to end up being dead anyway, because he was
a banger.
He was blood up. So he was heading down the road. Somebody was going to clip him anyway. Was he Crip?
Yeah, he was a banger. Blood. He was Crip. No, he was Crip.
Yeah, either way he was gang. He was gang. So he was going to get what he get. But Ralph, what I was saying, what they're not going to do is not the Kim Porter thing, because I'm pretty sure, because I honestly believe that he had her killed allegedly. I'm going to say that, but that's what I believe. But they're not going. But J-Lo is so far away. Because J-Lo's team had told her early on, as soon as that case was over with,
as soon as that thing happened with Shine and all that stuff, that was it.
I'm saying that's it. But that's exactly why, because, like you just said, because the stuff with Shine. Don't be too surprised when someone trying to pull the case against you. They're going to talk.
Oh yeah, they're going to turn over every stone. Yeah, they will. They're going to turn over. It don't mean they're going to get nothing, because they're going to turn over every stone.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying don't be surprised that they.
Oh no, I'm not surprised. I believe they are. I believe they definitely are going to dig. They've been digging. Trust me, the feds have been digging. The feds get involved. They don't like to start. I mean, the fact that they raided his house, they were trying to find something. And the fact that, they really didn't, at least so far as we know, they raided all his houses and they didn't recover, because they came up with something. They'd already been trying to charge him with something. So my point is, at the end of the day, yeah, it's gonna keep, and they're gonna try to dig everything up. They're gonna talk to everybody. They're gonna turn every stone over and try to come up with something. That's why, like I said, whoever released this was playing the long game, because no matter what happens, whether it was the feds, whether whoever released it, now this is forever going to be in the minds of people, and these people could be potential jurors, you know. So because it doesn't do anything to him legally. They can't do nothing to him. Number one, I think they might have mentioned the statute of limitations, but not even that. You know, it's a settled case. It's settled. She mentioned it. She settled. He paid her. It's over. He can't get in trouble for that. You know what I'm saying? So, and to be honest with you, if anything else comes out that she might have depicted in her lawsuit, if that surfaces somehow, he ain't gonna go to jail for that either. The only thing he would go to jail for is if people, because Cassie never accused him of. She did the whole thing with the freak offs and this, that, and the other, but it was other people that were saying that he was sex trafficking and stuff like that. So if that stuff surfaces, yeah, that's something they can get him for, if it's any validity to it, you know.
And that's such a loose
But I
term.
mean, it ain't illegal. It's
You got
not illegal to be a freak. You know what I'm saying? If you have a freak off or whatever you want to call it, and you want a cuck, you want to see another man, you know, bang your wife or bang your girl, then that's not illegal. You know what I'm saying? It's not.
Not
So
yet.
yeah, it's not illegal as of right now. So, you know, people were trying to stretch it by saying, well, if he's paying someone to do it, isn't that kind of like sex trafficking? No, it's not.
No,
it's not.
Because prostitution is not really sex trafficking in
Nope.
Nevada or
Right.
period anywhere. It only becomes sex trafficking when if a woman is being pimped out and she's being abused and she's being forced and coerced into having sex, and also being taken across state lines. That's the true
Right.
definition of sex trafficking.
That's the true definition of trafficking, sex trafficking, taking across state lines and stuff like that. But if you have,
when it's multiple,
that is what she has. That is what Cassie has said. She has said that he coerced her into having sex with men while he was in the room, and I'm quite sure that has happened across state lines. So then,
well,
yeah,
you don't. But
that
you're
is,
not sure about that. She didn't say that though. She didn't depict him as a sex trafficker. That's what I'm saying. She just said what happened with her experience, and she even said a lot of people with these freak off, these parties, or whatever. Everyone is taking the narrative and changing it for what it was. She said that was something that they did, meaning it's not like he just was having all these parties and inviting random people to this quote unquote freak off, right? This was something that they did together, meaning she didn't want to do it or whatever the case you want to call it, whether he coerced her to do it or she did it for him because he asked her to do it. But she didn't say anything about it going on over state lines or anything like that, because if she depicted sex trafficking in that thing, they would have went and tried to charge him whether she wanted to or not, because now it becomes a federal thing.
Right.
It's
So that's
out
a
of her
federal crime.
hands at that point, right? That's a federal crime. So if she would have clearly said sex trafficking or clearly depicted it, there's no question they would have already. That's what the investigations was for. But because they were saying like what they just did what you just did. You just assumed that it happened over state lines, but there's no proof to that as of right now.
You absolutely right. Right, there's no proof. However, now that you've seen this tape, right? The possible assumption, you can literally say, well, it can start becoming a little more clear where it's no longer an assumption. Because that incident that happened in that hotel, that is not in New York.
Abuse. This is abuse. Nothing was ever said about what was going on at the time.
I got that, but see, in my experience, especially with stuff like this, both run hand in hand. They don't run in one state you're doing this and somewhere else you're doing that. When you get a certain kind of way, that runs all the time. So if you, it's like you as a director, if you're sitting there and you're yelling at Kev because he's messing up a shot in New York, and you're in Los Angeles, did you take it differently because he's in Los Angeles? No, you act the same way you did in New York.
So I might take it differently if I thought it was illegal. In that state.
Yeah, but now think about it. When you're someone of Puffy's position where you have money, power, influence, you're not concerned about none of that stuff because you're really feeling like, well, can't nothing touch me. Is that not what the situation is with Trump now?
The hallway. But
yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Just,
wait. You're absolutely right. He did that in the hallway. He didn't do that in the room where nobody would have seen it. He did that in the hallway, drunk, half naked with a towel on.
Right, but knowing it's see, the one thing people is forget, and again, I want to preface this by saying I am not condoning what he did. I'm just stating a fact. Puffy probably came out of the bathroom or came out of wherever he was, because if he had a towel wrapped around, that means he was in the shower. And she saw a time, she was planning this, and she saw a time to take an exit. And he came out the room probably to ask her something and was like, where the fuck, where's she at? Excuse me. Where'd she go? And then came out the room and saw her going down the hallway and flew down the hallway after her, knowing she was going, let me get to the elevator, because I was just talking to her. How's she out the door that fast? And boom. And just in his anger, like, where you going? Or they were probably arguing and he was probably yelling at her. And in his rage, he ran out there trying to catch her. And then thinking about it afterwards, like, oh, dip, man, I forgot I'm in the hotel. Let me go down here and go get this tape right quick and clear this up before this become a problem.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, Ralph, of course, you can assume a lot of things, but what I'm saying is it ain't about what you can assume. It's about what can be proven. Right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, at the same time, you can assume a lot of things. Like I said, when Cassie first dropped these allegations in the thing, I assumed a lot of it was true. Right? And here's something here where someone says, sex trafficking is the use of force, fraud, or coercion to compel someone to engage in a commercial sex act, or to cause a child to do so. The quote-unquote acts elements of sex trafficking is where a trafficker recruits, harbors, transports, provides, obtains, patronize, or solicit someone to engage in commercial sex. The quote-unquote means element is when the trafficker uses force, fraud, or coercion, right? So what Cassie was saying, even if he paid someone else to have sex with her, doesn't fall under that category, because he didn't pay her to do it. He didn't get paid for her to do it. No one paid him to do it.
So with that being said, then realistically speaking, then that's a form of prostitution.
It's not form of prostitution because no one paid.
No, sorry, bro. When you pay someone to have sex in what situations, that is the form of prostitution. That is solicitation. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah. No. I get that. But what I'm telling you is sex trafficking. Well, once again, it depends on where you are. In some places, prostitution is legal.
No, it is not. There is only one place where prostitution is legal, and that's in Nevada, where they have this ranches at. The rest of the country, it is illegal. So no matter where he did that, and hit back.
And once again, it's about what you could prove, Ralph. It has to be proven. Wait, it has to be proven that he paid people to do that. Because to be honest with you, I know people gonna hate me for saying this. The average man don't have to be paid to have sex with Cassie. Let's be honest. So it has to be proven that the person was also paid to do that, right?
I agree. I will agree. Honestly,
not about what we think. It's about
honestly, I'm gonna sit there and even change that. I don't think that what we're considering an exchange of money is what happened. What's not to sit there? Give you an example, right? Puffy. No. Wait. When did Cassie start dating him? 2005. Okay.
Let's 2005. I thought it. Oh yeah. Okay. I thought it was a little later than that.
Let's just sit there and use it for example. Let's say that Cassie giving up her body to someone, and she's saying, "Well, someone paid me to have." What if it wasn't actually money? What if it was some sort of
gift or something?
Such as, for all we know, right? Listen, I think the story of Notorious Big is an amazing story, but right now, Fox Searchlight, you made a movie out of that one. How do I know that the sex that you had Cassie had sex with this person from Fox Spotlight to put that onto the burner, and it wasn't money that you gave her, but it was that we're going to bankroll this film.
Okay.
Right. What if you did that to the producers of the movie with Get Him to the Greek, where you bankrolled that, and you got not only did you get put in the movie, you got a plum role in the movie when nobody was considering you for that one. What if it's something like that?
Well, I mean, what if? But that's not how you get a conviction. That's not how you get charges by what if. It has to be something that they believe can be proven, or else they're not even gonna mess with it. That's why he hasn't been charged with anything, right? We know all this information that we're talking about, yet he has not been charged with anything because the validity is not enough. Even though, like I said, seeing this thing will definitely, and like you said, seeing this thing will definitely prompt people to do more digging, more research, things like that, right? But once again, it still has to be something that's proven.
I am in total agreement. It does have to be something proven, right? All I'm sitting there saying is this, just based on what I saw from what I just saw in that video, those things run hand in hand. You're not putting on the front in New Jersey, but acting differently in Los Angeles. You're acting the same way all the time.
I understand that, but once again, I'm not even saying I disagree with you, Ralph. But I'm still just saying that's all speculation. That's all speculation. That's all it is.
I agree. It's all conjecture. We're just theorizing. But me, right this second, fire not too far away from the smoke.
Well, once again, I know, man. That's all of that can be said or thought or whatever, but if it can't be proven, it's useless. If it can't be proven, or something that that could be proven, because there's so many things that Puffy has already been accused of. Like we said, he's been accused of setting up the death of Tupac Shakur. He's been accused of, possibly having something to do with Kim Porter's thing. All of these things have been talked about already and has, been hinted at, has been alleged to, things like that. But none of it has been proven. So until that happens, ain't nothing happening to Puffy except the fact that ain't nobody want to mess with him because of this videotape is definitely gonna hurt him. It doesn't finish him as far as putting him behind bars, but it definitely will hurt him. And that's why I said I think down the line it hurts him too. Even if it's okay, even if you're a slave to the moment and you're like, oh, and let's say 2 years from now, something else done happened, some other celebrity done did something crazy, and now no one's talking about Puffy. 2 years from now, something comes up where they can actually charge him. This video's coming back up, and it's gonna hurt him. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Right
now, the best thing Puffy can do right now is just pull a Russell Simmons, go to
he need to call up Russell Simmons and say, "Yo, Russell, what's the house going for next door to you?"
Yo, I saw a meme today. Someone said that where Puffy did his apology is the exact same place where Russell Simmons is at.
I'd be like, yo, Russell, Puffy needs to be like, yo, Russell, check out the houses next to you. I want to buy. I'm about to be neighbors, bro.
Yeah, and he's in a whole non-extradition country.
Right. And for a lot of reasons. Not only is it that, it also your money goes longer there. So that's why Russell said the only reason why he ain't lost his shirt after what Kamara did to him is because he said he's Bali rich. He said, I'm Bali rich. I ain't US rich. He said, I'm Bali rich. So yeah. But realistically though, it's messed up, man. It's crazy. But like I said, I'm gonna be honest with you, I wasn't surprised by it. I was not surprised by it because it was depicted in her lawsuit, and I did believe it. I was like, yeah, he probably did. Yeah, somebody said Diddy's in Miami, Florida. Yeah, that's where he's at. I know. He's in Florida still. He hasn't left the country. But he may want to consider it. It all depends. But once again, if you don't think that this dude isn't paying his lawyers overtime to get ahead of anything that might come his way, y'all, anyone who believes that is delusional. This dude has paid his lawyers overtime.
I bet you he on
make sure they can get ahead of anything.
I bet you right now he on the phone with Oprah talking about having her come to where he had to film a special of his apology. Oprah, special a 2020 exclusive.
Oprah be turning her back on blacks that get in trouble. Oprah be like,
Gayle King.
Shoot, Gayle do it too. Gayle gonna come there and try to R. Kelly him. She gonna come there and if you are trying to do something, you don't call Gayle King, meaning because Gayle gonna come there and she's gonna come there and put him on the hot seat and put him on the witness stand. That's what she gonna do. Nah, he ain't gonna do none of that. He did his thing online, and that was enough for him, I should say. I don't think he's gonna do that. Maybe down the line something, but right now, all this dude is probably doing is making sure that his lawyers are on top of everything. Any other things, because you got the people that's gonna pop up out the woodworks, they're not gonna be. It's just that Cassie obviously got the lawsuit. They settled for the lawsuit, so she got way more attention, and she is somewhat of a she's a recognizable face, whatever. Cassie, her career and all like that, she didn't really have no career. Her career was being Puffy's girlfriend. She had a couple of movies.
Yeah, one song.
One song that Yeah, which wasn't it was okay. It wasn't even like a super hit. And she didn't really have a career. Let's be honest. So when she said stuff like she thought about her career, as I see, these are things that these are her words. People get mad at me when I point out the fact that Cassie was there. She stayed. She went back for the bag, and she eventually got it. And let's be honest, people get mad at me when I say that. It's not
That's
victim
true.
blaming. It ain't
It's
none
the
of that.
truth.
It's the truth. It's just the truth. There's a lifestyle that you're used to. You don't want to lose it. Let's be honest. Do anybody? Any human. If you live in a
I'm getting my
lifestyle,
money. I put in the work. She said, I put in
yo,
the work. I'm
if you
getting
live
mine.
in a life, and to be honest with you, it's a human thing that 9 times out of 10, if it's like, okay, if I send this ninja to jail, I may not be able to get no money. I better
Ask
get
R.
this
Kelly
money.
girls.
Exactly.
Ask R.
Yep.
Kelly girls where they at.
Yeah. Where they at? Yeah, right. So she probably like, you know what? I ain't even trying to send them to jail. I gotta get the money. And like if you go for the money and you settle, you can't turn around. All you could do is hope that something else comes up of him that doesn't have to do with you that he goes to jail for. Then you can't do nothing about it. But you're not going to be the one to initiate it because you can't. Once you settle, that's going to be part of everything. So you're like, you know what? I'm going for the bread. I moved on finally. I'm with this other guy. We low on funds. We need to get this bread. That's pretty much it. So and people get mad when I mention that, but it's true.
It's going to take for somebody to decide to break their NDA to come forward if he, if he allegedly has somebody out there like that. It's going to have to be somebody that
I mean, there's been people. I mean, that other girl that had came out before and nobody listened to it. See, the problem is you have to be a certain type of person or status for people even really give you attention. There's been a girl that's been talking about this for the longest. She actually described how he treated her pretty much similar to what happened in that video. She said that he strategically punches you in places where you don't show bruises. You know what I'm saying? He won't necessarily hit you in the face if he can help it, but other things in the body and stuff like that, so you could cover up bruises. He didn't go full Ike Turner on her, like Ike Turner was, he was swinging and Tina was covering stuff up with makeup. But regardless of the fact, she came out and said this a while ago, and nobody really paid her attention. It's messed up. It's messed up. They didn't pay no attention. And let's be honest, everyone's like, let's let Puffy get dragged all these years like they dragged Chris Brown. I said, yeah. I said, but remember, Cassie is no Rihanna. And it's messed up to say that, but it's the truth.
But I even said that yesterday about that. I said, but at least the difference between that is that what Chris Brown did was in private. It wasn't in a hotel floor, right? Yo, bro, you did this on the floor where there's cameras and
idiot.
Well, I'm not gonna say
that's
the rest.
narcissism, bro. That's
narcissism.
narcissism.
I want to add one. And I want to add one more. And I want to add one more caveat to because everybody likes to pretty much leave that out, and I'm not leaving it out because I was a victim of domestic violence. And the one thing I'm going to say, as much as I love Rihanna, the one thing about her and Chris Brown, they were both volatile, and she took it. Mm-hmm. She was probably hitting on him in the car, threw his phone out the window, and he snapped.
Mm-hmm. Well, he did more than just smack her. He did more than just. But I believe they were quote unquote fighting. They were fighting each other. They were fighting. It wasn't. He wasn't just slapping her around and she was cowering in the corner. They were fighting each other. Still, it's still bad. It's still domestic violence. But I'm just saying, they were in a fight. as opposed to him just smacking her up or whatever the case may be. But yeah, I mean, it's real messed up. We'll see what develops from that. But right now, ain't nothing developing from it. He, except people. Oh, we don't. But I mean, let's be honest. Where this hurts Puffy in the pockets is like because he was in a transition of his life anyway. He was kind of transitioning out of music because he hasn't really made other than that Love album that he did a couple years back. He ain't really did no music. He was getting into more media stuff. He was with a investment group, and he was thinking about buying a sports team. So all that stuff is all going to be messed up now for him. That's not happening now. But I have to say this. I have to say this with at the risk of being attacked. I have to say it because it is what it is.
Saying that you want the smoke. Stop saying that you want the smoke.
I'm saying it. F Puffy. Puffy.
Listen, no. That's not what I'm saying. But let me say this. Yeah, F Puffy. But it's funny how Dana White was also caught on camera abusing his wife. Ain't nobody talk about him. He's still doing what he do. He's still making his money with the UFC.
Yeah, but
he's still being recognized. He's still being,
you know what I mean? But Vince McMahon is gone. He had to sell his shares in WWE.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, come on, that's his family. But Vince McMahon is gone.
Yeah. But I'm just saying Dana White was caught on camera also abusing his wife. Why isn't he canceled, talked about, whatever? Because you know why. I don't have to say anything else. So it's all wrong, right? Ain't no wrong any more wrong than the other. Abuse is abuse. So that's what it is. Nobody talking about that though. At all. So that is what it is. But yeah, Puff, we'll see what happens to him. But he's an idiot for even doing this because, like I said, I call it narcissism because you get to the point where you think you can get away with anything. And he did get away with it for quite some time. Now it's come home to roost. So, I mean, it's not affecting him in the way that most people would like it to. Because the moment this video came out, everybody, you saw people, he going to jail. He going to jail. This is it. He going to jail. He's not going to jail. Not for this. He's not going to jail for this. So, like I said, they may have to end up getting him on tax evasion or something. They might have to pull an Al Capone on him. Going to dig into, because trust me, they're digging into everything. They're digging into his taxes, his finances. They're digging into his past. They're digging into any sort of possible trafficking, possible embezzlement, possible. They're going to dig into everything. I'm sure they've already turned his whole world upside down. And right now, doesn't have anything on them. They don't have anything on them because that would have been out. So we'll see. Puff's a piece of you know what, so it is what it is, man. He's been that way though. I said this before. I said nobody's ever gonna come to Puffy's. There's a few people that's saying, well, whatever they're saying, I hope he gets past this, whatever. But the bottom line is, Puffy has screwed over people almost his entire career, and you ain't gonna get no sympathy from any of those people, and that's all gonna come. Eventually that stuff comes back to you. That karma comes back to you because there's a lot of people that he's ripped off, and whatever the case may be. So he's done a lot of dirt. He's done a lot of things to people. So now people are just sitting back and watching it, and even the people that are his quote unquote allies won't touch him. Even his allies really, there's a few, but other people that just want to remain out of it, like you think about people like Mary J. Blige, right? who, up until this point, I don't know if she said anything recently, but up until this point, she's been avoided. She hasn't really said anything, made any statements or anything like that, right? Because she's still, at least for we know up until this point, she's still F with Puff to a degree. But but she has said, or even the fact that it becomes a whole thing, right? Just like I said with I always talk about Eric Monty, right? Eric Monty still to this day, he's gonna acknowledge that Norman Lear gave him his shot. Like he's never gonna take that away, even though he said Norman Lear ripped me off. But he's never going to take away the fact that Norman Lear gave him his shot in the industry, right? So sometimes it becomes a thing where people just don't want to be involved because it's like, yo, yeah, I don't condone what he's doing. That's some effed up stuff. But at the same time, he never did anything wrong to me. And he actually, he was a big part of my career. She's one of the only artists that's dealt, around that's dealt with Puffy on a level and still got a career. So because he wasn't like, she wasn't signed to Bad Boy or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? He just always produced for her and stuff like that. So what they say? What if he's getting low key blacklisted? Just assuming.
He ain't getting low key. He getting high key blacklisting.
Well, I mean, I still go back to there's a lot of things why this could be happening, right? One of it is the Cassie situation. There's a lot of other people that talks about things, and someone else. What else he saying? Mark 5 says, not saying he can, because most people still rock with him and still a billionaire at the end of the day. Yeah, I mean, I'm beyond that's a cold hard fact as well. No, a lot of people aren't going to publicly rock with him, but there's plenty of people that still rocks with him behind the scenes because of either something he might have done for them or something that they might think they could get from him. You'll be surprised how many people. I mean, let's be honest. It always happens that way. Money attracts money. People that got money, they still mess with people that got money, even though they're not going to go out there and publicly put it out there because they don't want to mess their bag up. Behind the scenes, they like, okay, So, trust me, he's still. But he's gonna have to, do a lot of things. He's gonna have to do. Well, he's already did the same type of things that Vince McMahon had to do. He sold his shares in Revolt. He been sold his shares in I don't know if he sold his shares in Revolt, but he resigned from Revolt. He's not, he's not out there promoting where he's kind of removed himself from the equation. I don't think because that's his thing. So I don't think he sold his shares. I think he just kind of faded to black, so to speak. Where it's like, okay, I'm not gonna be the ambassador. What he did do was he sold his shares out of the Ciroc thing. Like he had to leave. He got bought out probably out of his shares in that. Because that was never his thing, even contrary to what people think. That was never his thing. He was just the ambassador of it. And he was a stakeholder, a shareholder. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how this goes going forward. So the Cannes Film Festival is going on. And there's several films already that's played, like the first half of the film festival. So far, the talk of the film festival has been a horror film starring Demi Moore, right? That's one of the talk right now of the festival. And the other one is a unauthorized biopic type of film about Donald Trump called The Apprentice.
7-minute long opening standard. Oh, like what?
8-minute opening standing. I mean, not opening, but 8-minute standing ovation at the end. So the Trump campaign has already threatened legal action over this film. They said we will be filing a lawsuit to address the blatantly false assertions from these pretend filmmakers. The Trump campaign's chief spokesman, Steve Chung, says in a statement to Variety, "This garbage is pure fiction, which sensationalizes lies that have been long debunked. As with the illegal Biden trials, this is election interference by Hollywood elites who know that President Trump will retake the White House and beat their candidate of choice because nothing they have done has worked." End quote.
Here's my question. Right, for this. First of all, this guy, he's making his bold statement. Did you even see the movie? Because if you saw them, no, I'm saying since we haven't seen the movie, we don't know if anything in that movie that they say, because it's not even about, it's about him younger when he was making buildings and stuff like that. If it doesn't have any place so in what you are now, it's a different version of you. Are they really lies? I mean, they're just taking what you have done and made a movie out of it. So before you start using terms, we want to sue you because this is political. If it shows you as you know, you were handed this business by your father and how it was struggling, you turned it around and made millions of dollars off of doing business deals, then I think that's a plus to you, not a negative.
But it doesn't. I mean, it does show that, but it's really, the film is really about his come up, but it also is about his relationship with Roy Cohen, the controversial lawyer Roy Cohen. And also there's a scene there's a scene in the film that shows him getting liposuction, and then there's a scene in the film where he rapes Ivana, his would-be wife, where I don't know if it's during an early date or something with them, but there's a scene in the film where he rapes Ivana. And so this is what I'm saying. This film is not in the favor of Donald Trump. That's why the Trump campaign has already came out against it, because they're saying this is them making false, Hollywood elites, blah, 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 blah. So Chun's statement continues, "The film is pure malicious defamation, should not see the light of day, and doesn't even deserve a place in the straight to DVD section of a bargain bin at a soon-to-be closed discount movie store. It belongs in a dumpster fire." So
wow,
that is their statement on this film. Now, meanwhile, it gets a standing ovation at the at the Cannes Film Festival, and the filmmaker did address it is a political film or whatever. He was saying, it's clear that this film, I mean, it's not going to say that it's defamation, because it can't be considered. I don't think it can be considered defamation or malicious defamation if it's a film that's just made off of stuff in the past that's already been reported or whatever about him. So that's what they're saying. So they're saying is that it shouldn't see the light of day. So now here's the question: will it get distributed? We don't know. There's a lot of films. We know that we've already experienced, films such as, Nate Parker's film and the new film that what's his name? Oh man, why am I forgetting? Why am I losing his name right now? The guy who played Kang, Jonathan Majors. Jonathan Majors. I said the guy who played Kang.
Oh.
Jonathan Majors film. You know, we knew that got held up, but will this film get? It's already gotten international distribution. It's already set up for international distribution. Will it get distributed in the United States? Is the question. Is Trump camp gonna do their best to try to block that? I mean, it's gonna be a lot of. I'm sure it will get distributed. Someone, at least, even if a smaller studio pick it up. But don't be surprised if like Disney or something picks it up. Nah, they're not gonna pick it up because that
A24.
A24. I can see them doing it. A24.
And you know what? It would be fitting if Miramax picked it up.
Yeah.
That would just be like wow.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, man. It's but that's what's going on. That was their response to it. The film, though, as the film itself, it says, it is a film. It stars Sebastian Stan as Young, the version of Donald Trump, and they said he got rave reviews for his transformative performance into Donald Trump. What's the one? What's his face? So Sebastian Stan is Young Donald. You have oh man. First of all, I'm trying to see the cast here. Jeremy Strong. Jeremy Strong plays the notorious political fixer Roy Cohen in the film. And then you had what's her name? You got Cohen. Maria Bakalova. Bakalova. Yeah. Maria Bakalova plays Ivana Trump. So yeah, man, it got a scream crowd. It said, several shocking moments late in the film. A scene depicting Trump's alleged rape of his first wife, Ivana, and a surgery room sequence showing Trump getting liposuction drew audible gasps from the Cannes premiere crowd. As the final credits rolled, the Cannes crowd started clapping, and they stood in an ovation for about 8 minutes. The only ovation that got a longer ovation was the one about the horror film that I was telling you about, starring Demi Moore. That got a 9-minute standing ovation. It's called The Substance, I think they call it. And that supposedly got a 9-minute standing ovation. Cool. What you call it? But those are the talk so far of it. The Substance review says it's an excellent. Demi Moore helps sustain. So it says here, what does it say? It's a stylish but redundant body horror. So it says in her second feature, co-starring Margaret Qualley and Dennis Quaid, the French filmmaker. Oh, this is a French filmmaker who did the film. But anyway, they call it a body horror film.
The hell does that mean?
Substance.
Oh, Substance. I see. It's a subgenre of horror fiction that intentionally showcases grotesque or psychological disturbing violations of the human body to any other creature. They may manifest through aberrant sex, mutilations, zombification, gratuitous violence, disease, or unnatural movements of the body. Wow. So that might be it's like a zombie. Maybe it's like a zombie movie or something. Because that's what the image
Maybe.
is showing, zombie.
But
it doesn't really. I'm looking here on her Wikipedia page. I found the substance, but it doesn't give a description as to what the movie is about. It just it doesn't really say anything.
That's interesting. It says, according to the IMDb page, it says a fading celebrity decides to use a black market drug, a cell replicating substance that temporarily creates a younger, better version of herself. Interesting. So this is like Limitless on steroids. All right. It supposedly creates a younger, better version of herself. Wow. Interesting. Let's see. Yeah, man. That I've never heard something like that before. So that's
weird.
That's very interesting. That sounds very interesting. Let's see. I wonder what it's about. Well, that's what it's supposedly about. So that's what it's about. But so far, it got a nice ovation. So if it creates, it's a cell replicating substance that temporarily creates a younger, better version of yourself. Younger physically as well. And maybe this thing starts to go south and she starts doing some fucked up stuff. Obviously this substance goes south. And yeah.
Oh, you're hearing it. Yeah. I'm reading. Yeah, I'm looking at the high report. Says she got a 9-minute long standing ovation. But the funny thing is, I'm looking at today's Hollywood Reporter, right? And the first news story that I think is funny, it says, why we all really do care about standing ovations. Like, why do we care about them? Because usually when we see movies, even if we loved it, we very well may clap at the end of the movie, but we're not sitting there clapping while the entire end credits is rolling. You get like a couple of seconds of some applause, and then we rolling out the theater.
Yeah, exactly. Hell, it wasn't. I don't remember Endgame getting no 8-minute standing ovation. But I mean, I did. I mean, we stay. Obviously, the Marvel films are a little different because you automatically stay to the end to see if it's an end credit. So people don't leave Marvel films too early because they don't, especially if they don't.
In the theater that I went to. In the theater that I went to,
there was definitely ovation. Definitely a standing ovation.
Yeah. I think the ovations ended because when they started doing when they started showing you everybody, when they went to the individuals of the 7, once Robert Downey Jr.'s mask closed, that was the end of it, and then everybody walked at the theater.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it definitely got big ovations, man. I remember.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, I remember the first time I saw Infinity War in the theater, it was quiet because they was mad. People were
what the
hurt.
hell happened?
What? Wait a minute. That's the end? No.
Yeah, listen.
And then the second time I saw it, people.
You remember?
Yeah.
You remember what Chadwick Boseman said? He said, "No, they didn't."
He said, "Oh no, they didn't." They said he yelled that out in the middle of the theater, like at the screening, because none of them had seen it, so they didn't know who. They all shot for certain things, but honestly, that whole scene, you know what I'm saying, is done digitally. So they all shot different things. It's just like that's why I love with The Walking Dead, with the death of Glenn, by Negan, they shot everybody. So basically, they did different sequences where Negan pretty much kills everyone. And, I mean, at some point, he didn't kill them all, but I'm just saying, every individual character got killed by Negan, and they shot it so they can confuse the cast, and the cast wouldn't know who is dying. You know what I'm saying? So, and then, it is what it is. So, I'm sure they shot a lot of things, and it's like, let's see how that is, But, because they had, I mean, you got to think about it. Like, he had to have at least known that they shot that scene, because look at the reaction of her. But you never know. Maybe they shot it. Maybe they did that without him knowing. Meaning, like, the scene him saying, "Come on, this is not a place to die," and then they just digitally removed it, dusted him. But her
That's
reaction
why he
is
said, no, they didn't. That's why he said,
no, they didn't.
The way he said, because the way he
probably thought he made the
not
cut.
A place to die, and it moved on.
He probably thought he was. Yeah, that's funny. Or you know what else? Probably could have. This is how they could have did it. They might have told him she's getting dusted, and for him to do that, and then she's gonna be dusted, and he react to it. But then they dusted him. That's probably why he said, "Oh no, they didn't." Rest in peace to Chadwick Boseman, man. Everybody talks about that though. They're like, "Yo, that's funny." But yeah, that's funny. Why do we care about standing ovation? I mean, it's not that we care about them, but at the same time, hey, man, that does say something to get a long standing ovation like that. But at the same time, let me put it into perspective as well. At a film festival, it's a little different because you are going to stand there and clap, and afterwards, there's a Q&A, right? So you're also, right? So you're also clapping not just for the work, you're also clapping for the cast, the crew, the director, stuff like that, because they start at that point, they start making their way to the stage, So, it's kind of like I'm not taking nothing away from the ovation part, but I'm just saying it's a little bit of a misconception.
They were let's call it what it is. They were exaggerating with that because they know that people.
I mean, it's definitely it's definitely a misconception. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, well, yeah, they don't have there's some people, the average person has never been to a film festival. The average person has never been to a film festival.
I agree.
So afterwards, right? Afterwards, they have the Q&A. So you're gonna, and you clap again for them, like if they bring them out and say, hey, okay, we have the director, blah, blah, blah. But normally after the film, they know if you're sitting at a film festival and you're especially if you're an avid festival goer and you're at a film festival, you know what happens after the film. Q&A. You know what I'm saying? Now we get to talk to them and see the filmmakers. So I think it's a little misconception, but whatever. Not to take away from the performance of the film.
You know what? And also, these actors are going to be out there clapping for everything anyway because they're just happy to be back to work.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, just people in the crowd as well.
But no. The people in the crowd are basically they're film critics. They're not just actors in the.
Well, they're critics. Some are critics. Some are just film festival lovers. There's a lot of people that just go to Cannes, and then there are some actors a lot of actors that go just to go. They may not even have a film in it. They just go. So it's a whole big thing. But like I said, I think it's just the whole. You got the ovation, great, and then the long ovation and all of that stuff, and then they move, and then it goes into the QA. So that's, I mean, like I said, I'm not trying to put a damper on the film. I'm just saying a lot of people don't have that context because they've never been to. A lot of people don't have that context because they've never been to a film festival. So it's a little bit different. And you want to tell me you standing in the movie theater afterwards for 8 minutes clapping, then that's different. Because
you got a problem.
Yeah.
That's
a different thing. That's a different. Now I like like I said. Yeah, I just think that that I think that has something to do with it, the film festival aspect of it. But nevertheless, we'll see. They said that was, a lot of people was feeling that film. The X-Men 97 animated series, which is a direct continuation of the X-Men, that the show that came on in 96. It came on, it was on from what, 94 to 96. Is that when how long it ran? I don't know, but anyway, it's a direct continuation from that series. It's now concluded on Disney Plus, so if you haven't seen it, you can go watch it, binge it, what have you. It's been getting a lot of good, a lot of not just reviews. I haven't even read reviews from critics. I'm going by what all the fans are saying. All the fans love it. I loved it. It was very well done, and for the first time in a long time, I could say Marvel has an animated show that could stand up to a DC show, a DC animated show. And they did it with this. Number one, they removed a lot of the handcuffs because it's not on network television, it's on Disney Plus, on a streaming network. So they were able to, as far as you can push the envelope on Disney with an animated show, they were able to push a few things, such as finally show Wolverine actually stab somebody with his claws, because that never happened in the show that was on Fox or whatever it was on. That never happened. You've never seen Wolverine stab anybody, on these.
Magneto in the back.
He stabs Magneto. Yeah, right. Yeah, pause. He stabbed. Yeah, straight up. So, and not only that, only thing you ever really used to see Wolverine do is fight Sentinels or stuff like that, because they're robots, so he can go ahead and put the claws. But you never saw him put claws to a person, or even a mutant. You never really saw them do it on the car. So you was able to see that. Well, it was definitely violent, to a degree. It really, and most importantly, what we about to say, Ralph, those famous two words that always comes out of me and Kevin's mouth: source material. They they didn't stick 100% to it. They did change some things, but they like always, there's never nothing that's going to be 100% source material for whatever reason. It may not, maybe it doesn't jive with people of the day or whatever. It might just be too much to do, but they stayed with a lot of it, and it's a really good series, and it was very well done. And the writing for the show has been phenomenal. Shout out to Bo DeMayo, who was the showrunner. I say was because for whatever reason, Disney or Marvel fired him. We have no idea why, but he was the showrunner and the co-creator of this X-Men 97. Obviously, he's not the creator of X-Men. Okay, the X-Men 97, the series. And he has worked on stuff from season 2 as well. But season 1 is pretty much his blueprint. He was the showrunner. He didn't write every episode, but he had his hands on every episode. So shout out to him. And I said this before on social media. I'm going to say it here on live streaming on the internet. I believe outside of some sort of heinous act that Bo DeMayo may or may have not have done, and I mean, I'm talking about extreme. We talking Diddy stuff. Let me stop messing with Diddy. But I'm talking about extreme stuff, some sort of violence, abuse, anything that has to do with kids, pedophilia, or anything like that, blah, 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 child pornography. But it's got to be something like that, in my opinion, because they need to hire him back to write the live action version of the X-Men. He needs to write that screenplay because they have been considering. It's already been in the news that they've been considering Ryan Coogler to direct. So, the rumblings at Disney has been talking with Ryan Coogler to possibly come and direct the live action X-Men film. I definitely have no problem with Ryan Coogler directing it. I think whatever he does, he really dives into, so he will do them justice. He also can take advantage of that if he wants to down the line. He could plant seeds to connect the Storm character to Black Panther. He can plant seeds. He doesn't have to do it. He doesn't have to rush it. He doesn't have to do it right away. But he could, if it's under his umbrella, I can't not think he wouldn't at least want to plant a seed to somehow connect Storm to Wakanda eventually. So he's a front runner right now, from what I read, for him to become the guy.
Well,
but I'm telling you right now,
I hope they don't. I hope they don't do to him what they did to Nia DaCosta, and take away stuff from him and tell him you can't play with these toys. You can only play with these toys.
I doubt it. He's already proven himself with Marvel. And he gets. I mean, look what they did. They gave him full reign to do what he wanted to do with Wakanda Forever.
But remember, they wouldn't let him use Storm the first time.
No, they couldn't. The first time they didn't have the rights back yet.
That's probably a smart move. Let him use it. That's probably a smart move. Not even if they did. It's probably a smart move not to use that ace card off the back. Let's build this guy up first, and then later down the line bring Storm in there.
Yeah. I mean, so they couldn't the first time. Obviously, he had a whole different. Who knows what he had in store?
I'm talking about the second movie. Well, that's what I'm talking about. The second movie, he wanted to use Storm in the second movie.
But when he started, right, then we know he had to change it. But even when he started the second movie, I don't think the deal was done yet either. When he started writing it,
yes, it was.
Obviously in development and stuff like that. Now, because he started developing the movie years ago. You know what I mean?
I probably wouldn't use Storm in the second one either, and more of it because if I look like this, if you introduce Storm in that movie, it's got to be someone I would imagine that Marvel is going to use in the X-Men series when it resumes back. So you're not going to unless they say, well, you could have used Halle Berry or Alexandria Shipp. Although we're jettisoning those two people from the role, we're going to have someone else doing it. Maybe you could have did that one. I don't know.
Well, I mean, regardless of the fact, regardless of that, Kevin Feige has already, by that time he had already made it clear that he wanted to wait. It was time that he wanted to wait before he started introducing mutants into the MCU at all. So I think, to me, strategically, I believe still something legal was tied to that. I don't think he just decided to say, I don't want to introduce mutants for 5 years. I think there was something legally tied to that. He just didn't want to say it. So
it was the people contract. There was the character
it's
the
like
actor
right.
contract.
The contracts for the actors, exactly. So right again. Now if Ryan Coogler would have been able to use Storm, he would have had to use either Alexander Shipp or Halle Berry. And maybe he didn't want to do that.
Well,
they didn't want to bring that in.
He would have to use Alexander
regardless,
Shipp and not Halle Berry.
Right. So whatever the case may be, no filmmaker wants that kind of be handcuffed like that. I want to choose who I want to choose. If I'm gonna do this role, if I'm gonna do this film, and I'm gonna have this character, I want who I want. You know what I mean? Like I want somebody that I'm happy with. Not saying that he wouldn't have been happy with Alexander. I'm just saying nobody wants that over their head. And regardless, I'm hoping that I don't think they're gonna handcuff him or do anything as far as you can't do this, you can't do it, because now everything is on the table. We're in the multiverse saga, so everything's on the table now. Everything's on the table. Nothing is off limits. Nothing's off the table now, because look at Multiverse of Madness. Like nothing's off of the table. So there's no way. I don't think they're gonna do that. They would do that to him. Nia DaCosta didn't have any skin in this game. Not saying that it was right. I'm just saying she just didn't. And they still, they still let her at least. She introduced mutants. She still got a chance to. She just didn't get the one she wanted. She didn't get the one she wanted. I think she wanted Rogue. She wanted to use Rogue.
Yeah.
Which would have made sense to include Rogue in a Captain Marvel movie. And really, to be honest with you, we talked about that before, Kev. It would have been smart to do that.
Adam Warlock.
Oh, she wanted Adam Warlock. Right. Adam Warlock was already committed to the Guardians movie. Remember, they hinted to him all the way back in Guardians Volume 2. They had already had Adam Warlock committed to Guardians. So that's right, she wanted out, but she should have been trying to use Rogue. I don't know if she specifically asked for Rogue, but it would have made sense for Rogue, with Captain Marvel, especially if you plan on not doing nothing else with the character, or Brie Larson is pretty much done with the role. You know what I mean? She hasn't had a great experience playing the character. At least with the public and the fans. So why keep torturing yourself? Every time she's asked that question, she's like, next question. She doesn't really want to, address it. Or she'll just be like, do they really want me back? She's even made stuff like that. So here's your chance to wrap up Brie Larson and have Rogue, like in the comics, grab on to her and put her ass in a coma like she did in the comics. And there you go. You can always come back and change actors later because she'll be in that coma. So if you want to change actors later, you can come back and bring Carol Danvers back. But anyhow, the X-Men film, though, man, it's been I filmed the series. I just hope, I would love Bo DeMayo to do the screenplay for the live action version of it. Because obviously, if he was working on the screenplay, even if he just did a draft of it, then Ryan Coogler always going to come in and add his special sauce onto it, And I respect him as a filmmaker because he dives in full speed on whatever he's directing. So he would really dive into the whole mutant thing, right? So we'll see how that turns out. And so the Megalopolis film has not screened yet, from what I understand, at Cannes. It's probably going to be one of the last films. It's going to be probably the, what do they call it, like the grand film or whatever,
I heard it's a hot mess. I've already heard it's a hot mess.
Oh, well, we'll see.
They said it is all over the place. And I'm sorry, Francis. If you took,
I know this, bro. I know this stuff, Rob. You listen to critics. I noticed that. you go by what critics say.
Well,
and then when you go into it with a certain frame of mind because you've already read. I know they've already seen it. but you haven't seen it.
No,
you said you just heard it's a hot
I'm
mess.
not.
But now you're gonna go into it watching it with a already tainted mind because you heard it was a quote unquote.
No, that is not that. No, that is not. I'll see if there was something about the movie that I want to see, and the critics said, "Well, this movie is a hot mess, whatever." But it's someone in it that I personally like that I follow their career.
Yeah.
I'll still go see it because I'm saying, okay, it's let's say for example, oh, well, it's Russell Crowe, so it can't be so bad because he's never put on a bad movie. But if the movie is trash, I'm gonna say it's trash, but I'm at least give it the opportunity, you know.
Because how bad can it be? I mean, Adam Driver is the lead, and Giancarlo Esposito is in it as well. So I mean,
it's a star-studded cast. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. I can imagine it being. I'm not gonna say it's a hot mess, but it's probably gonna be. You know, this is a 20-year passion project, and I guarantee you, he still didn't get everything in that he wanted. You know. It's one of them films, you know, that's one of those patch projects. And you know, the funny thing is, Coppola has said in many different interviews, he's like, a lot of my films he's like, the critics tear my films apart. It's happened many times. He's like, you know, obviously, The Godfather and Godfather 2, that didn't happen. But, you know, he's like, hey, I get criticized a lot by the critics with my films. He said, it just happens. He said, sometimes my films become more. He said, I mean, he's not going to lie about, why would he lie about that? It's true. He said, you know, a lot of his films that weren't critically acclaimed, but sometimes they become cult classics or hits, you know, by the fans as opposed to the critics. So.
Well, I mean, Francis, listen, man, not for nothing, but The Godfather 3 was trash, right? I mean, if I'm going to look at him himself, Godfather 3 gotta go. Cotton Club was kind of over the place. Okay, but will I give you The Outsiders beyond The Godfather? Yeah, I love The Outsiders. Was beautiful. I'll give you Rumblefish because you got that whole James Dean vibe going on there. Even Peggy Sue Got Married. I'll get some of your stuff.
I think Peggy Sue Got Married got killed by the critics. I think
it did, but I mean, but still, she got nominated for an Oscar, and it wasn't a bad movie. Maybe the premise you might have had because you have her playing her older self, going back in time, playing her younger self. Maybe if you were to switch actresses, it might have been a different story where you have someone that looked like a younger version of Kathleen Turner instead of having Kathleen Turner herself. Because that's the days now. Now with the aging, you could do that movie now.
You can do that now, yeah.
It might be damn good, you know. But I like I'm looking at his ID. I like Gardens of Stone. It was a pretty damn good military movie. Tucker and His Dreams, yeah. Even that episode you did in your stories was good. But let's be
Apocalypse
honest.
Now.
Apocalypse Now. And even with that one, people went into that thing saying Apocalypse Now was a mess because it was so long shooting and this. But it is definitely one of the most important movies that in the 80s itself. I would find more people would say to say as a war movie, right? It is probably one of the most important movies about war ever made. Apocalypse Now, right? Yeah. I mean, I mean,
Bram Stoker's Dracula was good too.
Yeah. Yes.
That was masterful.
It was very artistic, and it gave it a different spin on Dracula. I saw it now. I had paid to see Francis Ford Coppola's Dracula in the movie theater, and the first time I saw it, I didn't get it all. But then I looked at it again when it came to VHS, and I was like, okay, now it kind of.
What didn't you get about it? What you didn't get about it?
I guess
curious.
I guess because at the time I was not all that familiar with Dracula. I mean, I knew who Dracula was, but the whole backstory that he was
the real history.
Yeah. It kind of. And I was like.
Well, once again, source material. He literally did the novel Dracula.
Right.
That's
And I
what
never.
his version is based strictly out of the novel. As a matter of fact, the entire cast read the novel together in a round table. I remember Anthony Hopkins talking about it. He said, "I've never ever
Yeah.
done that with a cast." He said it's so interesting how Francis brings his, gets his point across. He said we had to read the novel together. Not he didn't give us homework. We had to read it together
In front of him.
in front of him at a round table. We all took turns reading the novel.
Right. So
And
that
when yeah.
so that's why I was a little thrown, because I sat there and I was like, visually there's parts of it that I thought was. Now I think the one flaw in Dracula is probably Keanu Reeves' role, because you're looking at that's Bill and Ted. Whoa, guy,
That is no flaw.
No, he did a
No,
good
no.
job.
I said if you want to sit there and say the one flaw in it would be Keanu Reeves, because at that point in time he was in Bill and Ted's, and now all of a sudden you put him into this movie, and it's like, and he even talking like Bill and Ted, like okay, but overall, there's nothing wrong with that movie. It's a damn good movie. It just kind of threw me when I first saw it, because I didn't know that story of Dracula. I was used to Dracula was he got bit, he became back, and then he had to survive by drinking people's blood, and then you have seen comedic versions of Dracula where he was looking for the one woman that he could fly, and the whole thing about him turning into a bat. They took all of that stuff and kind of like threw it out the window and gave you a more grounded version, which, like you said, was based on the book, and I didn't know any of that
Based
stuff
on the book.
Right.
And the funny thing is, I liked it so much because I'm not even. I tell Kev this all the time. I hate reading. I'm not a big reader, but one of the only few novels that I've read in my life, one was Bram Stoker's Dracula. I read that. Stephen King's It. Like I can count them on one hand, like the big novels that I actually read and got through. Yeah, so I was excited for it because of that. I read Bram Stoker's Dracula in high school.
See, no, we did. I tell you what, we had the two books that I remember us having to read in the high school for English class. We had to read Death of a Salesman.
Yeah,
we had to read.
I think everyone in existence had to read that.
We read that. We had to read The Chocolate War.
Of Mice and Men was another one that everyone had to read.
No, we didn't read that one. We read Call the Wild, and it was one of the books. I remember it had a red cover to it. I can't remember the name of the book, but that Dracula was not on our English to read list.
I was actually I don't think it was on our list, but I was given the opportunity to read it for. I think I had to do a book report on it, and my English teacher, shout out to Mrs. Silverman. I don't know if she's still even alive, but she's the first person that acknowledged, or she saw a writing talent in me, and she was the one that suggested I should become a writer.
Was her husband, Mrs. Silverman, also an English teacher?
Sorry?
Was her husband also an English teacher or a teacher?
I don't know. I never met or heard about her husband.
No, the only reason why
she didn't have a husband,
because I had an English teacher named.
Yeah, I'm not even sure. I might just be calling Mrs. Silverman. I'm not even sure if she was married, to be honest with you. She might have been married. She might have been divorced. But yeah, no, she's the first person that told me that I'm a good writer, right? And I wrote when I did my book because I did my book report on Bram Stoker's Dracula, and then also we had to write on a creative writing level. I wrote my first. It was actually a horror story. I wrote my first story. It was called The Dance of Dread. I wrote my first story in her class, and she's the one who put me on to a lot of things as far as like she set me on the path of writing. Um, because you know what, sometimes you have a lot of things inside, and you're not confident that anyone's gonna like it. So she gave me confidence and gave me confirmation that what I was writing was at least interesting, even if it wasn't good. It was interesting. So, um, yeah, that's how I read the Bram Stoker job. But yeah, he did it just like the novel. And another thing, not just the things he pointed out about Dracula, Ralph, the things he pointed out about Van Helsing, about how Van Helsing was depicted in the book. That this dude was like raving, almost a madman, but he was, you know, he was a genius. He was smart. He was brilliant, but he was borderline insane, and people didn't know, the line was blurred whether he was insane or just genius. You know what I mean? And so the way he acted, the way Anthony Hopkins depicted him was right out of the book. And of course, with his spin on it, the best thing, one of the cooler things to watch is the making of it. When I saw the making of it and I saw that they all had to read the novel, stuff like that, I was like, yo, that's dope. That's dope. Yeah, because not only do you get such a, everybody, I don't care what anyone says, everyone should do that. It gives you so much clarity and connects you with the source material that you could really connect with your characters. That's why everyone did a good job. I mean, Gary Oldman did a phenomenal job.
He did.
As Dracula.
He did.
He's such a character actor already, but that just really that really put him on the radar, on my radar. I was like, yo, this dude is a good actor, because he killed it.
He's intense.
I mean,
and some of the special effects, like I was talking to him because I'm actually writing the script for an adult scene, and I took part of the idea from Dracula, where Renfield is in the jail cell, and Dracula comes as the Green Mist, and he appears that way. I was like, wow. And the part where he folds his arms and go back into dark, you see the glow of his eyes. They put the light on it. It's just all rats. I was like, wow, wow,
that was crazy. And he turned into that big old man bat thing too.
Yeah,
that was crazy looking as well. But I mean, the fact that no one up until that point had ever tackled Dracula. See, that's why Coppola is one of my favorites, because he always takes what has been stereotypical and brings a realism to it. He did it with The Godfather. Up until that point, there was nothing but, basically freaking parodies. All of those gangster films, they weren't even Italians that were playing Italians in the film, So he brought a real grounded realism to it when he brought that in. And the same thing with this. Up until that, Dracula has been depicted in many different ways. And he's always been depicted as someone that was repelled by the cross. But there was never context given. Why is he repelled by the cross? Because he despises it. He's not afraid of it. It doesn't kill him or harm him. He's despised by it because he used to fight for it. He fought for the cross.
And his wife died.
And they betrayed him. He was like, And he felt betrayed because his wife took his own life, and they told him straight up, she cannot, her soul is damned. She took her own life. And he felt that as a betrayal. That's what happened.
Well, you got
so when he
see part of the mythos, but the one thing that everybody got to remember, but a part of the mythos with Dracula too is, and Francis Ford Coppola had a good take on it. But a part
with
of
Vlad
the mythos really with Dracula is, particularly with his disdain for the cross, is white Anglo-Saxon Christianity. where Dracula had to be this ultimate villain that can only be conquered through faith and through belief and Christ and the cross, and particularly a silver cross at that.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the one thing that I love the Francis.
That's one thing that he got rid of.
Was the fact that he was actually allergic to silver.
Right.
And
like I said, he that whole thing about him tying him to Vlad the Impaler and all that other stuff, tying it to an actual person from history or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Was brilliant too.
That was
him fighting in the Crusades.
Mm-hmm.
And coming back from the Crusades, like, yo, I just killed, and he killed everybody. He came back like, yo, I just killed everybody. Had everybody's heads on a pike and impaled them and drink their blood.
Yeah, and what makes it perfect is because Vlad the Impaler was from that region. That's where he was from.
Yeah,
from Transylvania,
from
going
Carpathia
all the way down into
something
Turkey.
like that. I think it was Carpathia in that area. Yeah.
Yeah, Carpathia.
And it was crazy. So
mountains. Yeah.
See,
but all that stuff that you guys are talking, when you've seen Dracula, and I have seen Dracula many times before that version came out. None of that stuff was ever exposed.
Nope.
Like I said, it was to some sort of like he was always Dracula from Jump Street, or like the one Dracula movie I like with George Hamilton, where it's more of a comic kind of thing.
Well, yeah, I love at First Bite. That's one of my favorite movies.
One of my favorite movies.
In Marvel Comics, though, if you go back and read some of Marvel Comics, like Tomb of Dracula and all of that, it picks up on some of that in some of those early comics.
Mm-hmm. But even before that, in novels, but in older films, none of that stuff was ever depicted in film. That's what Francis Ford Coppola. That's what Coppola really likes to do. He likes to really dig in and pull back layers and say, okay, because think about it. Up until that point, like you just said, Ralph, there's been
film, like Christopher Lee's Dracula. It was
not to that extent,
not to that degree. Even the one with Frank Langella. I don't remember any of that stuff in that version of Dracula whatsoever. I mean, because the movie he's already I remember
Dracula. He's already Dracula. The only thing I remember from the Frank Langella one, a very cool scene, was when he set the cross on fire. They put this big cross in his face, and he grabbed it, and it set on fire. That was cool. And that's what he
walking
said.
Down the rope upside down was kind of cool too.
Yeah, that was crazy too.
That was real crazy.
He was like, yo, and what was that? Frank Langella's version. He was like, he told him like, yo, you think you coming here with that? Like, bro, I'm the king of my kind. Like, you can't come with me with that. So they had versions where people were like, the cross didn't do it, where repel, like the cross may repel some of his minions, but it wouldn't repel Dracula or the main vampire himself. Hell, they did that with Fright Night. He was like, but he was just like, you got to have faith for it to work on me. But nothing ever depicted the way Bram Stoker. The way Bram Stoker in the book and the way Coppola did it in the film. It kind of showed you Dracula's origin. It didn't it did. It showed you his origin, right? It showed an origin of him. And that's something that no one ever talked about or never depicted in a film. So that's what he likes to do, peel back layers, But we'll see. Megalopolis may very well be a hot mess. It might be a bunch of stuff going on. We don't know. We'll have to see. I think regardless, Francis Ford Coppola is always a dude that's going to make his film the way he wants to make it. And when he gets his vision, the only thing that always plagues him is, time, runtime, things like that. Money, of course. So it takes a while. Funny thing is, when you brought up Godfather 3, here's a funny thing. I was reading this. this YouTube website, and they talked about once again, it's like these guys always get hit with things. I did not know that I think it was Winona Ryder.
Yep, she was supposed to play that role.
Supposed to play the role. I never knew that. She was cast as the role of the daughter. I mean, yeah, of his daughter, Mary, and took sick and had to be recast. She got sick and
burnout.
Could not, and then from that could not finish the film, had to be recast, you know, and at the last minute, because remember, Winona Ryder wasn't even the first choice. They had other people in mind that they wanted that either turned the film down or couldn't be, you know, didn't have the schedule. I think they looked at Julia Roberts, they looked at a couple other people, right? And Winona Ryder ultimately got cast and she got sick. So she got removed from the film, couldn't finish it. And he literally cast his daughter like a day before they had to start filming, which wasn't fair to her. Not that she's a good actor anyway, but it's definitely not fair to her to get cast the day before. And you know, it is what it is. You know, and really, even out of the most of the bad reviews from it was because of her. She ruined the movie.
Yeah,
everybody's like, she ruined the movie. They was like, the movie would have been decent had she wasn't in it.
Yeah.
It was like she just didn't, you know, she
was not that person. She was not the person and it clearly showed. You're not drinking out of a Viking cup, man. You need to burn that crap.
She just not. They were like, nah. But you know, to her credit, she went on to become a pretty successful filmmaker herself.
Yeah.
So, you know, she found her niche. It definitely ain't in front of the camera. She found her niche behind the camera. But like I said, just to be fair to her, she was thrown into that situation. She was thrown in that situation. So it's kind of it's Francis's fault for putting her in that situation. But he's trying to be able to, you know, back then, you know how it is, man. I mean, it's still like that, but really more so back then. Schedules was schedules. Like you had to make your schedule because it's a lot of money on the line and there's things that's going on and moving parts. If you are behind schedule, you may not get your movie done.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, is it we sacrifice the whole movie or we throw her in there and see what happens? Well, that's what happens. The movie was ruined by her performance.
Yep.
You know, so it is what it is.
Wishy-washy, and you know that whole look like
bad.
She was
very,
I love you, cuz. You know, I love you, cuz.
Yeah.
You know, I love you, cuz.
Yeah,
Like,
it was
shut
very
up.
bad. It was very bad. Her whole thing was bad. Like her whole performance was bad.
I remember people when I went to see it, people were cheering when she got shot at the end. I was like, wow. Like, wow.
Wow, that's so bad.
Like,
and
Daddy,
like I said, man.
Yeah.
Dad, they're like, yes. Finally, we don't have to hear her no more. Like, yeah, but it's the end of the movie. But anyway, in closing, we'll see what happens with Megalopolis. I mean, the name alone sounds like it's difficult. But you know, this is what happens with passion projects. You know what? Critics, period, tend to hate passion projects. They don't like when people do them. They just like they don't like them. They don't like what people do. Let's be
How
honest.
dare you do something that look? I'm gonna be honest with you. How many of you critics that watch?
Not do something
How many
that we love?
Right. I'm gonna be honest with you. How many of you critics that is watching the show right now? When James Cameron was putting out Titanic, y'all said it's gonna be a failure.
Yeah, they probably was.
It's gonna be a failure. But guess what? Oh, it's so beautiful. It's so it's the greatest love story ever told. Yeah, but 6 months earlier, he's like, this is a crap.
Ralph? Yeah, you know what, Ralph? You know why the male critics were saying it's such a beautiful film? Because their wives were like, "What do you mean it's trash? Change your review."
Change your review. I love Jack and I love Rose. Yeah. They're great together.
No Nikki so you a bad review, no booty.
Right. Exactly. They probably like, yeah, this is great. But I mean, this just to run it down. So you have Adam Driver, as Kev mentioned. You have Giancarlo Esposito. Nathan, what's that? Natalie Emmanuel, Aubrey Plaza, Shia LaBeouf.
I think she is so cute.
She is cute.
I really think she is just so cute. I don't know why, but I just think she is so damn cute.
She is. So Aubrey Plaza is in it. Shia LaBeouf is in it. John Voight, Larry Fishburne or Lawrence Fishburne, of course, Talia Shire, Jason Schwartzman. Who else? James Remar is in it. Yeah, there's a lot. There's a DB Sweeney.
He got a heavyweight cast in this.
Got a heavyweight. Dustin Hoffman is in it. Balthazar Getty. I mean, a lot of recognizable faces. Who else? I'm sure there's more that I'm probably leaving out.
I see John Voight.
Yeah. A lot of faces.
James Remar.
Yep. James Remar. Yeah, that's what I say. It's a lot.
Expensive ass movie.
This is an expensive ass. That's why it took 20 years to make it. That nigga was, Coppola was probably squirreling away money every year.
That's a lot of Godfather dividends in this movie.
He was probably squirreling.
That's why they keep releasing it. That's why they keep coming out with a new version every couple of years.
Versions of it, trying to make sure he gets some money. And like we said, I think I mentioned it last. Did I mention it last show? Yeah, we did mention it last show. That is The Godfather Part 2 is the 50th anniversary of The Godfather Part 2.
Surprised there has not been. And I don't know, but I'm surprised that I have not seen. What's that company that they had the like when they have the anniversary, they'll put it back out. Oh crap. Sometimes you see movies say like for one night only we're having a special screeners.
Mm-hmm.
I have not.
I think they did do that. I thought they did do that with The Godfather too. They did. I haven't
seen it because the Star Wars is back in theaters, which I'm like, what? I didn't see it.
Yeah, they did it. They did do that.
They did it. They did it at Regal Theater, and in Regal right now. Regal. Star Wars. Well, it was last week. I don't know if it's still this. I didn't see it.
Yes,
I know last
it's still
week Star
playing.
Was in Regal.
I'm not interested to go see Star Wars again. I've seen it, and it's the crappiest one. So I'm not going. No, it's the crappiest one, so I don't want to go see it again unless you tell me it's got like unseen footage. Like, if it has some deleted scenes, I might be like, okay, maybe, but nah, it's the same crap. So I don't want to see it.
Yeah. So yeah, man, I it's something though. Yeah, I want to see. We'll see it. That's an expensive ass film he did, like you just said. That's an expensive film, boy.
Okay, Okay, fellas. Now here's my question for you guys, because I missed going to the movies yesterday because I was anyway. I woke up late, and I bought my tickets and everything. Well, I should say I booked my tickets, and I didn't go, and I had a whole day planned for the movie, so I'm going to be going during the week to catch up on everything before Furiosa. So that being said, what's your calculated risk assessment of the box office for Furiosa before we close out?
Ooh, man, I'm gonna be honest. It's gonna because it's also gonna include Monday's gross. It's gonna be over 100. I think Furiosa is gonna be over 100. I mean, it's like at what 87, 80% on Rotten Tomatoes. The Mad Max before it was. I mean, some people consider it a masterpiece. I'm not gonna say that one, but it's damn good. But I'm gonna give it. Was. Yeah, I don't. I'm saying if it's not, I'm going to say between 90 to 105 is where I'm putting it at for the opening weekend.
Okay, and I forgot about Monday because I was going with 8. I was originally in my head saying 80. I keep forgetting that it's a holiday weekend, so yeah,
it's a holiday.
I'll say between 80.
No, the holiday weekend.
Yeah.
100.
You know what? We're still making them kind of faces, man, because you don't like Furiosa and you don't like the Mad.
Yeah.
You don't like the last Mad Max.
You know what? Before you say something, Wes, I'll tell you this, Kev. I would put it higher if Charlize Theron was in it. I would have put it higher then. Ooh. Right. Then I might have put it to 125, 130. But since she's not, and you got Helmsworth in it, 90 to 105. I'm gonna keep it in that range, 90 to 105 for the opening weekend.
I don't know, man. I'm gonna say maybe because this is gonna be Memorial Day weekend, right? That it's coming out. Helmsworth. I mean, now Anna Taylor-Joy is actually getting a lot of, she's gaining a lot of fans. Her fan base is growing.
She's
her fan base is growing
for a long time.
Yeah, her fan base has grown. Yeah, her fan base has grown. So I could see it doing. I'm gonna say I'm not going 100. I'm gonna say 90. I'm gonna say 90. Opening weekend. I'm gonna go 90, but it might do 100. I don't know. Helmsworth alone might bring it out, but I'm gonna say 90.
No,
a lot of these films, man.
I'm thinking about it. It's going to be 85 because it's going to be between 85 and 90. And the only reason why I say that, Ralph, is because this is the first weekend that everybody's outside. So I don't know how many people, and depending on and it also depends on how nice the weekend, what the weather is supposed to be like this weekend.
I agree with that one.
The weather part, yeah.
But I just think because they've already been doing the press for it. Hell, I was in here yesterday. I came home last night. What was on TNT? Fury Road was on last night. I was like, oh damn, because it's been a minute since I watched that thing.
Right, they setting you up.
Yeah. So now they're gonna put it where it's fresh in your mind. I'm sticking between that 90 to 105. I think that's exactly where it's gonna fall at. Movie season this summer is about to become ridiculous because you got this, then right behind it you got Bad Boys, and right behind that one you got Inside Out 2. I'm just to a degree that movies is there for you guys to go see. You just got to go out there to go see it. But it's coming. Oh, and Ballerina is coming out on the 6th. And they basically saying that's John Wick 3.5. I don't know how much this man is in it. But they
That's
say
what?
ballerina. They're saying ballerina. Is basically John Wick 3.5. That Keanu Reeves is in it so much that it's like
he is.
Yeah.
Oh, because that's from the John Wick
Yeah,
world,
it's a
isn't
spinoff.
it?
It's a spinoff. Yeah.
Yeah.
They said it's 3.5. Like, wow,
Yeah,
because he's in so much of it.
Yeah, the weekend forecast is 75, 63 on Friday, 61 on Saturday. Sunday is 68 with a low of 59, and Monday is 68, 67, 61. So it'll probably be it's a good movie day, but still a good day to be outside. I mean,
it's a barbecue
honestly,
day.
The only thing that I think the only thing that messes my number up is the Garfield movie because then you have parents taking their kids to go see that. That's
The Garfield movie.
Right. It is not going to be it's not going to be Planet of the Apes, and it is not going to be Winehouse, nor is it going to be Godzilla or anything else. Because Garfield is the counter programming. You know, but I'm saying Garfield is counter programming where the parents go take their kids to go see that one.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing that messes that number up. Now, if Garfield does 40 and Furiosa does still 90 plus, it's a good weekend. It's a good weekend.
No, it's still a good weekend, and that would have meant that it probably would have did over 100 had Garfield not came out and diverted some things. But yeah, I mean, I'll go with that. I'm gonna be honest with you. Y'all already know. Kev already know. I'm not really excited about this film.
Man, go back and look at Fury Road, man. I was watching that last night. I was man,
Ralph, don't even waste your time. Hey, Ralph, you remember when Fury Road came out? You remember when Fury Road came out and how me and him was going back and forth on air because he's like, it ain't all of that. And it was just
it really was, man.
Oh my God!
It really was. I had
yo, even worse than that, Kev and Ralph. I remember dude, when that came out, I was arguing with this other dude, a former coworker of mine. This dude he was straight abusing me. He was like, "You just an old nigga. You just an old nigga." He's like, "You just an old bitter nigga." This is what he said. I was like, "What? What does that got to do with anything?" He's like, "Yo, so let me guess. You like Beyond the Thunderdome?"
Oh my God, you called that so right.
He was exactly like, "Let me guess. You like Beyond the Thunderdome, but you don't like this." I was like, "Yo,
and that just doesn't make sense. It doesn't calculate."
I just started cracking up. He was like, "Yo, you just an old head that don't like." I was like, "What do you mean, bro?" I was like, "I love a lot of new things." He's like, "Nah, man, I ain't trying." Yo, he just went in on me. That was funny.
Yeah, he was extra.
He went extra, and I was like, "Oh, damn, bro. Okay, I still don't like it, but that's fine." And he was just like, "Yo, man, no, son."
That's the funny thing. That's the funny thing. You get mad about somebody not liking something, and then it don't
feel
change their opinion
insulted
about it. And that's what makes you even mad.
You feel insulted. And what it's funny, not to, because we about to end the show, but why do we feel insulted if somebody does like something that
we actually made the movie or something? Like it's our movie.
I don't understand. Because I mean, I guess it becomes when you get every time you watch something with film, even for a moment, you even if you're a prisoner of the moment, you come emotionally attached to the film in some way, shape, or form. So that's why you get offended when someone be like, "That film was trash." You're like, what? Like, it's almost like insulting your taste, right? You're like, wait a minute, I just said the film was everything, and you gonna come in here and say the film is trash? That's like insulting your taste.
Yeah.
Like, no, and I think that's what.
That was me talking to you a couple of years ago. That was me talking to you a couple of years ago because I literally wanted to reach through the phone like, what are you talking about, bro? Like, did you not see what I saw?
I was like,
Yeah,
I saw everything with this. The only thing I like, only thing that I was with about the movie is that the original guy worked on it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that's what made it like
so
okay.
dope.
That's what I liked
that's what made
about
it
it.
so
I was
dope
like, the
because he
original
had
guy
all
worked
the
on it, so
toys.
I can't throw darts at that because it's the original guy. You know what I'm saying? I can't be like, oh, they shouldn't have made it.
And he had all the toys. He had all the toys to play with, and he made it visually pop. Like I don't see reds and oranges. I'll never see.
Cinematography was
ridiculous.
But I said that back then, though. Remember, though, I did say the cinematography was phenomenal.
Yeah.
I said that in the film. Cinematography was phenomenal. I just didn't really like the film. It didn't move me like that. But you know, this is what it is. I'm just an old nigga. So anyway, shout out to everybody.
DC head. You a DC head. You don't like no Marvel movies. You a DC
head. I said, yo, you old nigga.
Wes's new handle is OBN.
Otis. Call you Otis.
Old bit of nigga. I was just like, bro, yeah, right. Hey, boy. Yeah, boy. You gotta move that car. Move that car, boy. Move that car.
Get on my grass. Why you out here on my grass?
Yeah, bro.
Who's that nigga on that nag?
He said, boy, that's your car? That your car? You gotta move that car, boy. Like, yeah, I'll do it in a minute, bro. No, you gonna do that now. Move that car right now. Then he start hitting the car. What's wrong with you, old man? Yo, that is funny though. Get ready to break it down, boy. Get ready to break it down, boy.
You sound like Ruckus. I understand you. Are you black people? Y'all want just for these good ass white people out here? Y'all want to be talking your shit. Gotta have 19. Bro. Gotta have 19 damn speakers in your goddamn car when you walk down. Why you need 19 speakers? I can't just go to. Nah,
Ruckus be like, praise white Jesus. Praise white Jesus.
Yeah, praise white Jesus.
Like, yo.
That man died to save. That man died to save all you people. You up here disrespecting them. Got your damn pants hanging off your
praise
ass.
White Jesus.
Serving your case. It's shrimp, not scrimps. Get it right, motherfucker.
Yeah, he is funny, man. But yeah, man. So shout out to everybody. Did anyone take the poll? Yeah, he hasn't been in the best of health. I heard.
Yeah, he had a stroke.
Yeah.
Tim guy had a stroke.
So 56%. I don't know how many votes. Well, not that many votes, but still 56% of the poll that when people came into the chat room says yes. They voted yes. We should forgive Diddy. 56% voted yes. The question was, should P Diddy get forgiveness? That was the question. And the answer was yes. Well, 56% yes. 44% answered no.
All y'all out there crazy. All y'all want to talk about forget. You might as well forgive R. Kelly and Chris Brown too. Hell, why y'all just go back and get a pass O.J. Simpson? Goddamn it!
R. Kelly.
That one thing everybody got to remember: there's a difference between forgiveness and forgetting. Forgiveness, you're supposed to forgive, and the forgiveness is not really for the person. The forgiveness is for you, so that way you can learn to not harbor bitterness and anger towards the person and let all of that energy eat you away while this person is over here doing whatever they're doing, not thinking about you. And that's why the forgiveness is more for you than it is for them. And with that being said, it's nothing wrong with forgiving Diddy. Because to be honest with you, God is going to forgive Diddy for whatever he did. It's
Oh Lord,
unforgivable to live
wait. I gotta stop here. Just a typical black person saying that God gonna forgive these people. God don't even forgive good Christian white folks. He don't be forgiving black people. Y'all, you damn coons out there. Y'all need to stop with that crap. I'm just saying.
Uncle Ruckus. Oh, you got hair codes out there.
Good night.
I'm talking about forgiveness, that. Yeah, definitely. You know, that is funny. But shout out to everybody in the chat room. Yo, next week we will start back. I have been, even though I've been out of commission the last couple of weeks. I have gotten back on the battle of the movie songs. Remember, that was the last tournament that we were talking about. I've been putting some more work to that. And next week I'm gonna start presenting some stuff so we can get ready to start getting that one started. And we are back by popular demand. We will be bringing back the verses. The acting versus the director versus. There's new directors out there, right? New people. Some combinations we didn't do. We did some good ones, but so a couple things. So we'll get back to that next week. Shout out to the chat room.
Wait a minute, I got one more goddamn thing to say before we end the show. Let me tell those two coons out there, Ralph, Terry, and Kevin. Listen, Will Smith got one of the greatest songs of all time. Don't you guys? I don't care what you put him up against. Will Smith better win, goddamn it. You tell me some shit. You got some McDonald's, some hamburger, a chicken nugget with motherfucker winning the award, man. There's something really wrong, and I'm never gonna watch this show. There's something really wrong with that one.
Chicken nugget. Does Will Smith have a song in this list? I think he does.
All I know is Will Smith.
The Men in Black.
He had better not
originally.
He better not lose to someone that's up there talking about Dayo or up there talking about someone talking about give me some goddamn let me get some hot fries with my 6-piece nugget with tartar sauce. I don't want to hear that crap. Something wrong with that.
When I told the story that you told about how dude kind of pulled up on you like, hey, I told that story to Bruce. Shout out Bruce Pitt. He was cracking up. He was like, what? I said, yeah, funny. Man. That's just funny. I said, yo, dude pulled up. I said, he was there for a whole different reason, but he pulled up on Rob and was like, yo, while I got you here.
Yeah, homeboy pulled up because we was at Exotica, right? Yeah. And I'm at a booth, and Missy said my name. She's like, Ralph. And this guy was in there. He's like, Ralph. She's like, what's his name? He's like, Ralph Terry. He's like, wait a minute. Are you the guy Ralph Terry from Hot Sugar Tea and Real Talk? I was like, yeah. He's like, yo, what's up with you guys? You lost your goddamn mind letting Will Smith lose. What did he give you like a lifetime supply of nuggets? I'm like, what the hell?
I'm just sitting like, yo, the fact that he rolled up on that and said
he was offended. He was offended.
Completely different thing. Yeah, you had something that had nothing to do with, and that's cool. It's always, to me, it's good to hear regardless, because hey, people are listening. That's a cool thing. So still, yeah, man, shout out to him. Yeah, he was upset because and I still know I told when I was recapping all of that for Bruce, I was like, yo, I said, Kev has known me a long time, and Kev knows when I'm legitimately mad. I said, and Kevin was laughing so hard because I was mad that and you set him up, Ralph, to deliver the death blow because you went first, and you set Kev up to deliver the death blow. And he delivered the death blow with a smile on his face. And he knew that I was going to be pissed behind that. And I was. And I told my boy, I told Bruce about it. He was cracking up. He said, yo, I was mad. I was mad. I was like, yo, these niggas ain't playing right. I felt like the dude who want to take the ball and walk away, from the court. Y'all niggas ain't playing right.
It's my
It's
ball.
my ball. I'm walking away. I said, yo, I felt like stopping the whole contest, saying, look, we do it over. It's a do-over. It's a do-over. But so the one with the movie songs, that one's gonna be cool. We still got a few to iron out, but that's gonna be good. Remember, it's movie songs, not themes, not main themes to a song. So as opposed to it being the Rocky theme song, it might be Eye of the Tiger, or whatever. So like a song, especially if it was a song made for the movie, an actual song. But we'll get back to that. Everybody, y'all peace out. We will check y'all next week. And have a good one, man. Signing out for the rest of the Jedi Council. I am the director. Deuces.